Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mir, search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button, and please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. Sorry about being late. I was distracted. I don't know if you guys know that cartel boss in Mexico was off today, so I was just kind of following that because that's interesting. It's kind of like Osama bin Laden being taken out, not to that level, but for Mexico, really for the US as well. I mean, it's pretty big what happened. So I think it goes by Mencho or Metro. I don't know, but I've been somewhat following that. So yeah, because we all know the cartel runs Mexico. I mean, everybody knows that. But y'all love Mexico. Y'all love Tulum. Was it Tulum? Tulum? Y'all love Tulum. I knew something was up. So back when I was working at corporate America for Centos, at the end of the year, our fiscal year, if you did well, if you hit your there's a certain numbers you had to hit. There's certain metrics you have to hit. And if you hit those numbers and metrics, they sent you to Cancun to celebrate, like an award show. When they stopped doing that, when they stopped sending us to Cancun, and they told us the reason why was because part of the reason why they were saying is because the resorts are ran by the cartel. I knew something was up, but y'all, y'all love Tulum and Tulum, whatever you say. But we all know the cartels run Mexico, but that don't stop you from going, but stops me from going. Okay. Stops me from going. I will not be going to Mexico anytime soon. Have no plans. But Cancun, the resorts. But the thing about the resorts in Cancun, let me make sure I'm on the right mic. Yeah, there we go. The thing about about the resorts though, the food was so nasty. Like the resorts we stayed at, the food would be so nasty. You know, it's all inclusive, so you can eat whenever you want, everywhere in the resort. But when I say that food was absolutely disgusting, the worst food I've ever had in my life was the food at the resorts we would stay at in Cancun. That food was terrible. I mean, that food was absolutely terrible. I'm like, who eats this shit? Like, who eats this shit? Well, I guess the tourists who come to the resorts, I guess, eat it. But guys, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. We're rolling to Senegal in May. We are rolling to Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival. That is going to be May 9th to the 18th. May 9th to the 18th. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO .Africa. Again, please visit Danfo. That's DANFO .Africa to learn more. We're also going to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Trinity Times Travel. I called you. I don't know why you guys think I be playing when I say if you subscribe to the mailing list, I'm going to call you, and not from a burner phone. Like, I'm going to call you from my actual cell phone, my actual number. So Trinity Time Travel, I called you. So you can't say I didn't call you. You can't say I didn't call you. Yeah, so we're going to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. That is August 2nd through the 11th. Then we're rolling to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. That's September 20th to 29th. Then we're going to Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Sierra Leone. That's the plan in November. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. And this is the site right here. This is the site right here. And also, too, guys, I'm going to be I'm doing like reruns. You know, I'm going to call them reruns of some of my earlier videos from my trips to Africa. I'm going to be doing that. You know, I'm starting to post those now. So you'll be seeing those pop up. So just, watch them. Go ahead and watch them. I'm pretty sure there's some people. They're buried so deep because I have so many videos. How many videos do I have? There you can see content. I got a lot of videos, put it like that. I got a ton of videos over the years. So a lot of the content I'm gonna be reposting. So just that's what's going on. So yeah, so let's jump into today's topic. Mamdani, the free grocery stores. The free grocery store where somebody got to pay for it. Somebody got to pay for the grocery stores. Oh, I thought it was going to be the rich. I thought it was going to be the rich. I thought the rich business owners are going to pay for the grocery stores. Nah, Mamdani said, nah. In fact, let's play the video real quick. This is Mamdani. The socialism, y'all love socialism and communism and Marxism. Looks great on a t-shirt. The Che Guevara t-shirt, when he's looking, like this with the hat on, with the star on it, he's looking into the sky. That's a dope photo. Looks great on a t-shirt, but when it's time to write the check, y'all get upset. Free grocery stores, y'all. Folks is like, yeah, free grocery stores. Then Madonna was like, well, somebody got paid for it. Hold on, let me pull this video up. In fact, let's play this. So this is black folks who voted for Mamdani, and that's the topic today. So you got FBA trying to pin this Mamdani win on the Tethers. I'm like, no, not at all, no. The majority of black folks who voted for Mamdani were definitely FBA. I know that for a fact. The majority of black folks who rallied for Mamdani is FBA. Al Sharpton is FBA. A video I'm gonna play here shortly at his press conference. All those black folks in the background who were clapping. Masan is FBA. All them black folks were FBAs. No, FBA rallied behind Mamdani. And what really, really disappoints me, and I'm really disappointed. The reason why I'm really disappointed, black folks turned their back on Eric Adams because he called out Sleepy Joe Biden and his immigration policies. And he said, listen, this is hurting New York. And black folks got upset and they went to Mamdani so they could get free grocery stores, free groceries. Now that the bill is due, now y'all mad. Let's play this clip real quick.
It's been only 49 days since Mayor Mamdani took office, powered by the promise of making the nation's largest city more affordable. But now he's floating this idea of raising property taxes for all. And New Yorkers, well, we know they're never shy to share their own opinions. Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kim with their message for the mayor tonight.
I don't plan to move. It's my home. I'm not leaving.
This two-story single-family home in Cambria Heights is Vivian Campbell's American dream come true. His starter home that has become his forever home.
The greatest thing to happen to me.
He bought it just after graduating college in the 1990s. If you step inside, he even has a stack of CDs to prove it. The retired real estate professional who was on a fixed income recently poured almost $35,000 into a new front porch and a new roof. But now with Mayor Mamdani proposing a property tax increase, he feels duped.
Do you feel like he lied to you?
You'll not feel. He lied. Not feel. It's obvious.
That's why Campbell was among the dozens of homeowners in Southeast Queens
Oh,
who turned out
boy.
for what they say
Man.
was an emergency response to the mayor.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind.
To the mayor, with the greatest respect, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen.
All because these black folks turned their back on Eric Adams, all because he called out Sleepy Joe Biden and challenged Sleepy Joe Biden. And these black folks turned their back on Eric Adams. Hilarious. I mean, you know what? It's not, because I know some people who didn't vote in the election. And I know some people who are going to catch the strays from this. Who shouldn't have to. It's messed up. But literally all these black folks turned their back on Eric Adams just because he called out Joe Biden in his policies. Oh, no, we're not saying Eric Adams was perfect. No, absolutely not. But was their property taxes going up? Was their property taxes going up? Nope. Unless I'm missing something. I mean, I don't live in New York, but I didn't hear any black folks complaining about Eric Adams and property taxes.
Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
To close a $5.4 billion budget gap, the mayor says he has two options. Convince Governor Hochul to tax the wealthy, which he refuses to do.
No, you ain't taxing the wealthy. The wealthies are the ones that create the jobs. and the opportunities. Not for everyone. The wealthy are the ones that contribute to their campaigns and write the big checks. So, of course, they're not going to tax the wealthy.
Or raise the city property tax rate by 9.5%.
Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes.
But the city council would have to approve the measure, and Council Speaker Julie Menon says the proposal should not be on the table whatsoever. Meanwhile, Hochul, for her part, is unlikely to soften her position as she faces re-election this year.
You are giving only two options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics.
In Queens,
yes, you are.
Stefan Kim, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
So that's, hey, listen, I'm going to put the link in the chat room. I will put the link in the chat room. And listen, if he raised property taxes, y'all don't sell your homes and come to the South. Nope. You stay in the North. Do not sell your homes and do not come south of Virginia. Nope. You stay up there. Do not come south of Virginia. Do not come to Atlanta. Don't go to Alabama. Don't go to Texas. Don't go to North Carolina, South Carolina. Don't go to nope. You stay up there. You stay up there in the North. Or you go to Philly, or you go to Philly, you go to Illinois, go to Chicago, go to California. But no, don't come to the South. We fool. Because all y'all gonna do is vote for the same policies that force y'all out of New York. So no, stay up there. Stay up there. Don't come down here. We fool. We fool. You fool. But guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. But let me get back. So now you have FBA. In fact, let's pull this up. Hold on. Let's pull this up. FBA saying that the tethers are the reason for this. No, not at all. In fact, here we go. Here goes the video right here. In fact, before I play that video, let me play this video real quick. Here we go. The National Action Network.
Following his decisive primary victory, he's back on the campaign trail. The Democratic mayoral candidate rallying. Hold on.
Let me freeze it. Hold on. Let me freeze it. You got Spike Lee, ADOS. You got Al Sharpton, ADOS. Oh, did I miss anybody? Hold on. Let's start this from the beginning. Al Sharpton, FBA, Al Sharpton. Hold on.
Zohran Mamdani, not.
Look, holding hands locked. Holding hand. Guys, hit the like button. If you have not hit that like button, please hit that like button. So you got FBA Al Sharpton.
Resting following his decisive primary victory. He's back up.
You got FBA Spike Lee. I'm just gonna assume this brother with the kufi, he gotta be FBA.
On the campaign trail, the
Brother with the glasses, we just gonna assume he FBA too. This is FBA. FBA was the loudest. Hold on. Let's continue.
Democratic mayoral candidate rallying in Harlem today, speaking at a National Action Network event alongside Reverend Al Sharpton. Fox 5's Meredith Gorman has his message about making our city more affordable.
Zohran Mamdani went to Harlem on Saturday to speak at a National Action Network rally just days after he declared victory in New York City's Democratic primary race over former Governor Andrew Cuomo. The results from that ranked choice voting will be finalized in the coming days.
But what we have seen in the last 2 weeks is a hunger from New Yorkers to move beyond the days of museums and relics and make this city a living, breathing testament to what is possible.
Mamdani was joined on stage by Reverend Al Sharpton and spoke to the crowd, receiving a standing ovation by rally-goers who included filmmaker Spike Lee.
FBA.
Mamdani again vowed to help the working people if he's elected mayor.
We have seen the working people of this city weep. Weep at the cost of housing. Weep at the cost of childcare. At the cost of groceries. Weep.
Hey, he good though. Now listen, Mamdani's good. He's good. He's good. Yeah, he's good. He's getting his black pastor on, y'all. Hey, he's getting his black pastor on. He's good.
Even for the $2.90 for that Metro card. Though it may not seem like much, 1 in 5 New Yorkers cannot even afford that.
In November's election, Mayor Eric Adams plans to run for reelection.
Y'all sold out Eric Adams just because he called out Joe Biden. Can't believe it.
Election as an independent candidate. Curtis Sliwa is running as a Republican, and Cuomo could still run. A deadline on Friday for Cuomo to drop out of the race passed. And despite losing to some of the city's most predominantly black neighborhoods in the primary, Mamdani gave hope to those at the rally during his visit.
Give me a lot of hope because I live in Section 8, and Section 8, when I work in nursing, when you work in nursing in Section 8, because I retire, it's still expensive. It's still expensive in New York City. So I would like affordable rent, and that is what he's for. I would like to see our children do better.
If you're talking about helping the people, this is what the people need because.
Oh yeah, he definitely FBA. He got the brim. He FBA. Now that lady, she sounded Caribbean, but this he FBA. He definitely he got that's the FBA brim right there. He FBA.
You're dealing with a situation, circumstances where people's.
That's the FBA Frankie Lucas brim. Harlem brim. Yeah, he FBA.
Living conditions is very adverse in general to what's going on, and the city is not livable.
Mamdani and Sharpton had a closed-door meeting at the end of the rally before emerging afterwards.
It was a very frank and candid conversation. Thank you.
Meredith Gorman, Fox 5 News.
That's the sound of an American oil company.
No, that the FBA. So you're right. So let's see here. It said he was running behind in black majority areas. What happened? Okay, so that was the Democratic primary, the general election. All right. When Eric Adams ran as an independent, it was Mamdani and it was the Republican. The majority of black folks voted for Mamdani. Hard stop. Hard stop. The majority of black folks voted for Mamdani in the general election. That's what happened. Oh yeah, that was definitely an FBA brim. Frankie Lucas. Bumpy, that was a Frankie Lucas, Bumpy Johnson FBA brim. Now let's go back and look at it. Hold on. So they definitely can't claim
work. Want to be a part of
FBA
it? Listen up.
Involved in it.
Hello.
Hold on, let's go back to the brim. There we go. There we go.
Will need because you.
That's an FBA brim. Yeah, so they can't deny this one. You don't see no Tethers wearing a brim like that. Man, nothing against the brother. I'm just making my point. Again, nothing against the brother. I'm just making my point. Hold on one second, guys. Let me pull this up. And guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. But link is in the chat room. And if you hold on, let me pull this up. Here we go, right here. Here's some numbers. One, black neighborhoods. During the primary, Mamdani was bested by former Governor Andrew Cuomo by nearly 6 points in neighborhoods with more black residents than those of any other race, a crucial voting bloc in New York City mayoral elections. Mamdani won 64% of the votes in those areas this time around, of 25 points from his 39% in June. There we go. They didn't vote for the black man, Eric Adams. They didn't vote for the Republican. They voted for Mamdani. Go ahead, Em.
Thank you, sir. I want to comment on some things I said yesterday, but I'm going to talk about this too. As far as Mamdani, when you look at Eric Adams, he dropped out because of the scandal. He got pardoned by Trump, or they dropped the case. He didn't get pardoned. The Department of Justice dropped the case against him, and the judge dismissed the case. So I think when people saw Eric Adams do a good job, even though he had the migrants, he still did a good job. They thought it was easy because he's a black man. And this guy, within 2-3 months, already crashing out because he didn't realize this is a hard job, right? Most of these major cities in America, Chicago, New York, D.C., they're ran by pretty much black people. And people think that's an easy thing to do. But I think we need to see people crash out and fail just so they could appreciate Eric Adams. Because he did drop out, he wasn't on a ballot. He didn't get the support, the economic support. But I want to talk about. Can I talk about what they talked about yesterday? I was listening.
Let's stay on topic because then people will start calling in. We'll get completely off topic.
Okay, but that's all I want to say about that.
All right, guys. Links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Eric Adams didn't know that black people who vote are going Democrat no matter what. Well, that's what happens, you know. Like I said, well, it's not but the property tax increase is not official yet. It's not official yet. So we'll see, but It's going to be interesting. All right, go ahead, Sam, man.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh yeah, cool. Thanks for letting me on there. Yeah, so based on the information that I had, I heard about the situation is Adams, the prior mayor, had installed like a plans for New York City that's going to have a somewhat of a discrepancy in the budget as far as like the tax revenue that the New York City is getting and how much their budget is supposed to cover. So to cover that discrepancy in between how much would they need to cover the budget, Mamdani had proposed to the governor of New York State that they need to increase the taxes on the wealthy so that they can cover the New York City budget. But because they're not getting the cooperation from Albany or the state capital, that they want to have to resort to increasing property taxes to cover that budget. I've been to New York City recently, just maybe about a year ago, and it does need a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of filth and a lot of junk out there. You know, it's still like a big tourist attraction. There are a lot of different people, but there's a lot of junkies on the street, a lot of trash all over the place. So, yeah, they definitely need to increase the budget. The infrastructure of the city needs a lot of work. You know, needs a lot of cleaning up. So, um, and that's just in Times Square. So I can imagine some other parts of the city. And some of the other things that the people or some of the residents of New York City were complaining about was the rodent problems. They have a lot of large rats in New York City, especially into their homes, and a lot of the owners of these large complexes that they're kind of like what do you call them? They're
Slumlords.
they're delinquent landlords,
Slumlords.
or I forgot the name that they call them, but
Slumlords.
delinquent landlords that's not
Slumlords.
taking care of their property, and they're letting it go with all the crap, with all the junk, the rodents, the pests. They're not keeping it clean. So to put some pressure on on the landlords that own a lot of the property, because there's a lot of residents in New York City that are renters. They don't necessarily own the apartments that they live in or the condominiums that they live in. That what I'm saying, to force them to keep up their property, you can increase the property taxes on them to apply pressure on them. That's another way that you can get some revenue, applied to the city. So I know it's a complicated situation. It's like probably the biggest the largest economic city hub in the entire world when it comes to economics. So they have a lot of stuff going on in that city, New York City, and I guess they're trying to figure out how to balance the budget and get everything situated, because annually it probably costs like upwards of $100 billion just to run that city and all of the maintenance it needs on an annually and monthly or daily basis. So I know they spend a ton of money just on the police department alone, and that's part of the reason why New York City substantially has dropped in crime. If you go down to certain parts of Manhattan, there's police officers on every corner, standing on every corner. So I mean that the crime rate in New York City has dropped substantially because of a lot of um, the hardcore policing that they're doing out there, which is another thing that's probably crushing their budget as well. So yeah, I mean, I would be I can't really criticize Mamdani for the thing that he's doing, because it seems like it's a lot going on in New York City. I mean, they would say that if you were, I know that he's more into socialism, and he's so supposedly supposed to be a socialist mayor. But if you had a so-called capitalist mayor that was more friendly to big businesses, but the only way that you could be more friendly to big business is big businesses only care about the bottom line, meaning that if you lower their tax rate and you lower their overhead, then they can make more profits. But you have such a huge market in New York City, it makes it tasty or intriguing for a big business to go out there and make some huge profits. But you got all of these cities down in the south growing too, so you can make huge profits out there too. So it's a balancing act in between um, how much you can charge these large companies to come to your city in New York City, and how much you can charge them tax wise, and how much those big business owners can make off of their bottom line. Because at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to make a buck and get theirs. So I don't know what the situation is, how they want to deal with it.
All right, go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, greetings to the panel, Dynas, Brother M, and Sandman. I hope everyone is well on this Sunday. Yeah, yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm not American. I've been there, and I've got a lot of family there. I don't really know the nitty gritty of the politics in America, but from the UK point of view, looking at how Southeastern Asians have performed, how they have worked against black people in the white world, for me is a red flag. Okay.
Well, Africa, you got to understand. You got to understand. Like, I don't know if they do it in the UK, but here in America, they push, this minority and black and brown coalition. So,
bad move, Dennis. But bad move. We shouldn't have any coalition with Asians, especially Southeast Asians. They're very dangerous for black people in the West. Their number one agenda is to be one step ahead of the black man. They don't want to be leveled up to the white man. They just want to be above the black man. That's it. For example, I used to live in London. We have a mayor who claimed to be a son of a bus driver, and that was his campaign. He's gonna come, as a working class mayor. He's gonna help everyone else, and then black people in London buy into it, and they voted him. Sadiq Khan, and Sadiq Khan is actually one of the longest, if not the longest, serving mayor. But it's not because of his job, but it's because of two reasons: because he's Southeastern Asian, and then because of his religion. These are the two reasons why he's still there. He destroyed the city, and a lot of the black people in London been moved out by serious gentrification, which I think it was deliberate by him. And I don't know if you have what they call the congestion charges zone in America, where you have to pay, like in London, we have that in my city. Okay, I have to pay like £10 a day if my car doesn't fit the emission. So that's, if you don't pay it, you will be fined. Basically, it can actually lead to a serious consequences where they can actually come and actually take your car from it, because they can increase that £10 to £1,000. Okay, in the space of, let me say, 3 months to 6 months. But get to the point, see, they can promise us everything in heaven, and he gave us hell, and he's still there. And Southeast Asians, they always trying to crawl into politics in the back of black people in these black and brown coalitions. Once they get there, they get closer to the white man against the black man. And to me personally, I'd rather vote a white person as a mayor or as a president or a governor than the Southeastern Asian. And don't forget his background. He's actually claimed to be African Asian, Ugandan Asian. And these are the same Asians. These are the same Asians who have targeted black people in the UK constantly in terms of introducing policies that actually, drove black people out, that took their passport from them, and also, drove a lot of black people into poverty and racism. Basically, they feel racism, in a different level, and to a point where the white people are actually in the UK is thinking we don't think we need these people in our politics anymore, because we have a Southeastern Asian as a prime minister who wasn't elected. He was selected there, but the things that he was doing and he was saying, it was only the white people that was actually calling him out, saying, look, we don't want to hear that. It's actually quite racist. So, African American brothers, I'm warning you, be careful of these people. If you see a decent white man and an Asian I'd rather, if you have no choice, you have to between those two, I would choose a white man instead of the Asian. And I'm not generalizing, but this is based on our personal experience in the UK. I'll pass the mic for now. Thank you, sir.
All right, go ahead, Bukuna Bay.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. Thank you for having me. So yeah, I mean, I think it's refreshing. I personally spent 5 years in New York City. Okay, so unfortunately, because I saw many interviews of him, and he said, I mean, he claimed that he made like surveys and asked the people, the New Yorkers' opinion about the changes he should bring to the city. He seems very sincere. He's very good. He's a good speaker. But I think he should have also made like a little survey, you know, online to have like non-New Yorkers' opinions about the changes he should bring as well. Okay. Because for instance, I personally saw many things that needed reform in the city based on what I was used to. Okay. And that's not even so much his fault. Because you see, the United States and especially New York City is heavily influenced by an over-driven capitalistic mindset, okay? And I'll just give one simple examples and you guys will understand what I'm trying to say, okay? Like I personally, I'm used to having access to bathrooms in cities, like especially in Montreal City here in Canada, for instance, right? Public bathrooms are accessible to everybody and pretty much everywhere. It's like something that everybody can arguably be entitled to in the city. But in New York City, it is like, it's a little like if you had to pay to use. You get what I'm saying? Like for instance, you have to go pay to a restaurant to use a bathroom, or you have to like go to institutions and spend money in order to be able to use. You get what I'm saying? Same goes for, for garbage cans, for instance, right? In the metro, like you have to pay your fare before like having access to the garbage can inside. Like you can have a garbage can that you can throw your stuff to outside of like the station, like before paying your fare. Like those are little examples that I noticed, okay? And the city is extremely, for that reason, extremely dirty. So it's not even so much because of the people. You get what I'm saying? It's because of those little policies, and everybody think it's normal because they don't know better, or like because they didn't go elsewhere. You get what I'm saying? So, because this is all they know. This is all they know. Like they grew up with this mentality and they just think it's normal. So this is what I think. Outside of that, I think he has like very good intentions. Okay. Unfortunately, I think he's going to bring changes, positive changes to the city. But unfortunately, there's one thing that is going to thrive more and more because there's this Islamic presence. Okay. And now it's to a point that like there are parts of New York where they make their prayers publicly and sing out loud and disturb people.
Yeah. They just did it in Times Square, which, you know, I don't agree with.
And unfortunately, this is something that's going to thrive under him. All right. Because these people are firstly loyal to their religion before being loyal to anything. Unfortunately, this is how it is. Okay. So these are the little remarks that I have for now, right? But I think he's going to bring positive. It's just that like those little negatives are going to remain. And like in the case of Islam, Islam is going to thrive even harder in the city, unfortunately. And this is all I have to say for now.
All right, guys. Link is in the chat room. If you guys want to call in and add to the conversation, click on the link again. If you guys want to call in and add to the conversation, click on the link. Go ahead, Africa, and I'll pass it back to him.
Yeah, sorry. Bukanabe, you said about the filthiness. Is that in Canada? You said, and you think it's to do with the system, not the people. They said that.
No, what I meant is that like New York City was filthy, right? Compared to what I was used to in Canada. All right. But this is not so much the New Yorkers' fault, okay? Simply because like is because of the capitalistic mentality that the city is the way it is, okay? Because like they grew up thinking everything needs to be paid for, like even access to like a garbage can. Something this simple, you know? In Canada, there are garbage cans everywhere. And everybody knows that you can't just be throwing stuff all over the place, right? But also they facilitate, they put on things around the people to facilitate or encourage them to not to like to throw stuff all over the place, you know? So people have access to garbage cans everywhere. That is not the case in New York City. In New York City, like you always need to pay like for something in order to have access to. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, I think I understand now. I mean, for based on what I heard, I don't want to go into Canada. I had Canada, the areas where you have Southeast Asian people, is very filthy and dirty, and they actually regret having them in their country. And I thought that was what you were trying to point out, not in New York.
No.
Obviously, New York.
No.
Okay.
And also,
So that's
there's
not,
another
that's
thing
not,
also.
So that's not right study then, because it's a British guy who done a 30-year study in Canada about the Southeast Asian immigration and how regrettable it is, and how, because I remember there was one time the Canadian government actually closed their Indian embassy because they had different issue also in different for different reason. But basically I've been on different platform and I had a Canadian guy came on the platform. He was nearly crying, saying how they regret having Indian people migrating to Canada, how much they have destroyed the country. And because Canada is part of my king here is the one that still control Canada. You're still part of our colony if you don't mind.
I would like to add
Yeah.
that if we're talking about capitalism versus socialism, when it comes to money and the bottom line, it has no color. It doesn't matter what race you are. It's about the people that's installed in there that can produce the biggest profits for the capitalists. So it doesn't really matter if you're black or you're FBA or you're African or or Eastern Asian or whatever. Does your policies and does your people bring back profits for the capitalists? And if it just so happens that the Southeast Asian is more profitable than the black man in New York City, then that's who the capitalists are going to lean towards.
Yeah, but this one is a socialist, right? It's not a capitalist. And also that's the one. Number two, the in the UK, the Southeast Asian politicians that have been in the UK in power, like the last prime minister we had, he was passing so many legislation stopping black people and other ethnic minorities coming to the UK, but making it easier for Indian people to come to the UK. Okay, and also the Home Secretary, because over here we have the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and the Home Secretary. These are the three most powerful post in the government. Okay, the Home Secretary, who was an Indian woman, brought so many Indian people in the UK and stopped other people coming in. It's only when a Sierra Leonean guy who is James Cleverly, who replaced her, in the same Conservative Party, same government, stopped all the things that she was doing because he saw what she was trying to do. So this is the trouble. Black people were quite naive when it comes to certain people and certain race and certain agenda. Okay, and we need to watch out and we need to be careful. I'm just ringing the alarm bell now, in the beginning of his tenure, so everybody can open their eyes to what he's doing. And don't be surprised if he eventually favor. I don't know how many people you have in New York who are Southeast Asian. Don't be surprised if he favors his people more than the other minorities. Okay, don't be surprised.
Yeah, but you also got to keep in mind that how did he get in office? He got in office because he was supported by Southeast Asian business owners.
Oh, okay, there you go. That answers my question. Thank you.
Let me say this about Zohran. I'm not going to be long, guys. I'm just going to say this and get off. First of all, he's an Arab. You know what I'm saying? And his budgets, I mean, like his policies are just completely unrealistic. Black people got to stop, jumping onto these white frameworks like socialism, capitalism, and all this. We need to have our own economic frameworks, right? We need a Afroocracy, if you will. And I mean, this guy's budget is like 120 some billion. If I'm mistaken, his budget is more than the whole state of Florida for one city, right? So, you know, and like the brother just said, eventually he's going to start to favor his own Arabs, Muslims, and crap like that. I mean, they can't get around it. You know what I mean? So he's just he's all talk. You know what I mean? He's a socialist. He's un-American. And like Donald Trump said, you know what I mean? You know, he's just, you know, these socialist pricks, they come around, they get to speaking all this narrative, but socialism has hardly ever worked for black people. And for black people, let alone anybody, right? And also the last thing I'm going to say is I've noticed that CNN and all these other far left media houses have failed to report adequately on the Black History program that was held by Donald Trump. I find that strange, you know. So for somebody that comes with this whole narrative of Donald Trump being racist and yada yada yada, why haven't they spoke on that? And that's the last thing I'll say, guys. You guys take it easy.
Let me pass it up. Go ahead, Pierre. Pierre. All right, go ahead, Elvis. Unmute yourself, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Dinas. And hello to the panel in the chat. Look, I think what Zohran is doing, not even what he's doing, but what he campaigned on, you know, a lot of people gravitated towards it because it had answers or potential answers to some of the problems that they had in New York. You know, the high cost of living, you know, the wealthy buying up all the properties and spiking the property, you know, prices, and just making things unlivable. So I think he brought some common sense solutions for action, you know, by asking those who have more resources to pay more, so that those at the bottom can benefit more. And it's, you know, it had been like this before, right? I think in the 40s and 50s, there was a wealth tax. You know, some people call it a wealth tax, where every dollar after, you know, earning $1 million is taxed like a 93%, you know. And of course,
let me ask Elvis real quick. Do you think that property owners, the average, you know, mom and pop that goes to work every day, works 9 to 5 and owns property, should their property taxes be raised?
I mean, it's based on income, right? It's not just mom and pops, right?
No. Property taxes across the board, Elvis.
No, explain it to me, Donnie. Is that one of his policies?
Okay, I own a home here in Atlanta. All right. If the mayor says I am raising property taxes because we have a deficit, I'm on the hook for it.
Okay. So remember, this is New York City, right? This is not the suburbs. So usually the city, you have a lot more high rises, and it's all about corporations.
Elvis, you're not answering the question.
But you're giving me an example that's not in New York. You're not living in a suburb in New York.
Elvis, stop. Should a property owner in
Johnny, you can't twist my arm on it. Don't do that.
Elvis, it's really simple. Should a
no, it's not simple. It's not simple.
Elvis,
nope, it's not. It's not a yes or no question, Dinas.
Elvis, should a property owner in New York City, should their property taxes be raised? Yes or no?
Yes, if they own an apartment building and they have, you know, millions of dollars in rent every year. Yes.
Not just apartment buildings. Elvis, listen, Elvis. Stop being a clown. Elvis, you're being like a disingenuous clown.
You want to prove a political point, and I'm not going to allow you to do that on me, Elvis,
it's an easy question.
It's not an easy question.
Single family home, apartment complex.
Yeah, how many single family homes are there? It's a lot more apartment complexes than single family homes in New York City.
Should a property owner, no matter what kind of property they own, should their taxes be raised in New York? Yes or no?
Yeah, if the city have a legitimate reason for doing it, yes. Property taxes are raised all the time, Dinas, for different reasons. So, I mean, what is the point you're trying to make? I'm trying to make a point, and you're trying to get to this mega talking point, and I'm not having it.
No,
my point.
So you agree that the property tax?
There's a reason why you live in Atlanta and not New York, right? Because people, right? There you go. People analyze the cost of living in different places before they move there. So those people living in New York, they already know the cost of living is high, and they're willing to pay that cost of living because of certain.
They're not.
No, nobody's willing to, bro. I grew up in New York.
Okay. So if somebody moves to New York now, you think they know that they're going to be paying $900 a month for rent? More than likely, their rent is going to be $2,000 at minimum. So they know there's a higher cost of living in that city.
Elvis, there's more people living in New York than going to New York.
Yeah, but then there's some people who move out of the city because the cost of living is so high. That's why he campaigned that he's going to try to bring down the cost of living. He's going to try to keep our landlords in check and make sure that they have, good upstanding properties. And he's going to raise property taxes on the wealthy, 5 or 10% of the population, so that he can pay for some of the other social programs.
Where are you getting this 5 to 10% of the? Where are you getting that number from, Elvis?
What, the wealthiest 10%, like the billionaire class and the multimillionaire class?
But Elvis, we're talking property owners, period, across the board. That's all we're talking. We're talking property owners right now.
Yeah, most New Yorkers don't own properties; they're renters. And the people that own the properties are big corporations. That's what you don't understand, Diners. These big apartment buildings, they're not owned by individuals.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Elvis, you're just wrong, Elvis.
You're wrong.
Whatever you say, Diners. You want to make a mega point.
Whatever I say, Elvis, the majority of property owners in New York aren't big corporations, Elvis. And that's across the board in America. They're mom and pops that go to work every day, work 9 to 5, blue and white collar workers, man.
Right.
I'm telling you, take New York City for example. Right?
Elvis, when
Most
they
people, hold on for a second.
Landlord will pass it on to the tenants.
Hold on for a second. Most people live in apartments, right? Can we agree? Most people live in apartments in New York.
Elvis, you're just shifting. You're moving the goalpost.
You're making a point. When I make a point, you want to bully.
No, but
I'm asking a question. Most people live in apartments in New York that they don't own, that they rent.
No, it's
right?
Start next. Elvis,
most people live in apartments that they rent. They don't own.
You're specifically talking about property owners. Hard stop.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Who owns apartment buildings?
Elvis, we're not talking apartment buildings.
We're talking New York. What are you talking about? It's not you, Donnie. This is not about you in Georgia. This is in New York City.
Not about you, but Elvis, should property owners have their property taxes raised? Yes or no?
Yeah, it depends on the income level.
It does. That's not how it works, Elvis. Elvis? Listen, I'm sorry for calling you a clown, but are you doing this?
You want to make a mega talking point? I'm not allowing it, Dennis.
Are you just doing this on purpose? Like, are you just like?
No, you want to do a mega got you, and I'm not following it, Dennis. This is New York. They voted for this. You didn't vote for it. You have no say in it. The New Yorkers had a say in it.
Elvis, hold on. Everybody on here, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Am I missing something?
Yeah,
I understand. And I know. And I know American.
Is it okay for
taxes went up 100%?
Yeah, you saying is it okay for the regular blue mom and pop blue collar person to have their taxes raised just so that the mayor can increase tax revenue?
Go ahead, Taraka.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I missed most of the thing, but I'm gonna just say that well, first of all, because I grew up in New York, I know a lot about it, and we already pay exuberant amount of taxes. My brother have a house, my sister have a house, my mom have a house, my wife sister have a house.
Can I stop you right there? Are they okay? So you said your mom, your brother, your
everybody. Cousin,
they own a house in New York.
I'm just trying to let Elvis know how many houses one family has.
Per Elvis, they either own big old apartments or they're big corporations. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Oh, so they are corporations.
No, only one of my family member have an apartment.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just trying to tell you, there's a lot of homeowners, regular homeowners in New York, a whole lot. Okay. And we already pay exuberant amount of taxes, exuberant amount. All right. So let me just leave that part there. As far as the mayor, the new mayor, I don't know if a lot of people know, but the mayor actually won the Jewish vote. Okay. He won the Jewish vote. And after if he won the Jewish vote, he's about to do something that they approve, right? Or he wouldn't have won the Jewish vote, all right? He also said he wasn't going to Israel. All that shit was a plan, okay? The one of the first meeting he had, right? Because he said he was going to do X, Y, and Z to Wall Street and all kind of different things. All that is worked out already because one of the first meetings was with Diamond. I forgot his first name, the one that owned Chase.
Jamie Dimon.
That was one of the first meeting he had after he promised people that he was going to do X, Y, and Z to these rich people. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the first meetings he had is with the president or the CEO of Chase. So that just show you where he's coming from. Donald Trump.
If I could,
yeah.
Hold on a second. Mamdani only got 33% of the Jewish vote.
That's winning the Jewish vote.
Thank you.
33%.
That's winning the Jewish vote. He shouldn't. The way he acted about Israel, right? He shouldn't have got 1%. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
So 30 goes back to what I was saying. Thank you.
You're right. So what I'm saying, don't worry, he's in the bag and he's not gonna change nothing, bro. I grew up in New York. He ain't gonna change a damn thing on Wall Street. I'm telling you. You see? And when the taxes are raised, it's the middle class and the working class bear the brunt of it. You see what I'm saying? Because the rich people is not going to feel a tax raise. So it doesn't matter if you raise tax on them. You see what I'm saying? The middle class and the working class, they're going to feel the bunch of it. Now, I have one friend that happened to own a $3 million house, right? And he got the $3 million house by luck. It was kind of inherited by one of his uncles that was an ambassador. So it's kind of inherited, right? So, and he lives in North Carolina. And he rents it out, right? So you got like 3 or 4 tenants. So he called me and he was talking about it. And he was worried about the tax going up on him. You see what I'm saying? And the brother that said they're gonna raise, I think it was Al said it. They're gonna put it off to the renters. He's 100% right. They're gonna move it to the renters.
Yeah.
All right. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's what normally happens. You see what I'm saying? So this, and the last thing I'm gonna say, this particular mayor, right, is not for the poor people. It seems that way, Elvis, but he's not for poor people. To be for poor people is have to be radical. It got to be someone that's coming, punching and kicking and screaming, no matter what happened to them, right? He's not for poor people. His mom is super rich. He come from a super rich family. He's a producer. I even hear some rumors that his mom had some party that Epstein was at. Okay, that's
she used to kick it with Epstein.
Right.
Oh
So
my
you see what I'm
God.
saying?
Oh.
So it don't even. It's like confusing to my brain because this is it's like algebra 101.
Well, I
And
guess
this,
that disqualifies Trump since he used to kick it with Epstein.
No, I'm not saying
And that
disqualified,
supports
though.
Trump.
We're just proving our
I'm just
point.
telling you the reality of everything, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, Trump is for the poor people of Delaware. That's why you guys support him.
Oh Lord, have mercy, boy.
Okay, I just wanted to do a quick research, right? And this is only a proposed 9.5 tax, for every homeowner. But it's a political tactic that if the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, if she refuses to tax the wealthiest New Yorker, then that tax will come into play. So it's a pressure.
She already said she's not going to do it.
It's a pressure tactic that
She said
he's
she wasn't
going
going to do
after.
it before he got elected.
She said she's not going to do it, Elvis.
Yeah, we'll see. It's not implemented yet. He's proposing it.
But
and let's see what happens.
Elvis, do you agree with Tarhaka? KJ, I got to pass it a couple people I get to you. But again, like Tarhaka was saying, do you agree with the average middle class worker, their taxes, their property taxes being increased? Yes or no?
I mean, if it's for a purpose, yes, I'll pay higher taxes if it's benefiting the majority of the people. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the answer, Dan. Let's move on.
All right, there we go. All right, go ahead, Pierre. Unmute yourself, Pierre. Pierre. No, we gotta. Pierre, you gotta have it together. You call in. Go ahead, CD.
Hey, Donis.
Go ahead.
So,
Hey, Felice.
yeah, how you doing, man?
Good.
Good.
Yeah,
So,
we're good. Thank
yeah, good. How is it going? Good.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're still here, still
Okay.
surviving. Yeah.
Okay.
Pleasantry.
So, with Madani situation, right? He would definitely have to increase property tax by 9.5% because the city has a deficit of $5.4 billion, right? Especially for 3 million residential unit and about 100,000 commercial unit. So if the governor don't accept him or taxing the high earner, right? Well, we should put. I don't think if she's going to do that because she's more for the poor compared to Madani. We don't know Madani yet. We don't know how because he just started, right? A lot of things that he said that is going to be free. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because he's saying the buses going to be free for everybody, which of course I don't think that's going to happen. You can't make all the buses that run in the city to be free. And also he said you're going to freeze the rent. I'm not even sure if that's possible, right? Or with the property tax situation, he definitely would need money because the thing when politicians running for position, they will say a lot of things, but when they get into power, they realize, oh, gee, this is not how it works. We definitely need the money, right? But again, if the mayor say, well, we're going to increase taxes on high earner, they have other options. They have alternative. Most of them will move to Florida, right? And which of course that's what Trump won. So I supported him for him to be the mayor. I supporting Holly. And I don't think his parents had anything to do with what he got because he's not from money anyway. He doesn't even have property. The only property that he got is in Uganda. He only have a land in Uganda. So when people say that he came from money, it's not from like a rich family. His father is just a professor at Columbia University, and his mom is a movie director. So I don't think the way people say that I mean, for me, I have property in New York. I have the apartment that I live in. I have 3-bedroom apartment, which of course I would not support in raising my taxes on my property. But you won't have no option. You definitely will have to do it. So the city is going through a lot, especially the mayor that we had there. Mayor Eric Adams. He was just a disaster. Especially with the experience that he had. He said the NYPD for 20 years. He came and run everything on his own. His brother was collecting salary. The lady that was there as a police mayor, I think she's got some African background. She started fighting this lady and she resigned. So it's a lot of things that have been messed up by Eric Adams, and Mamdani doesn't have that much experience to cover a lot of these things. I think he will have no option to raise property tax, and that's going to be a problem for him. That's how I think. And with the Jewish population, they have nothing to do with Mamdani winning the election. Even outside, with the exception of outside Israel, New York has the largest population of Jewish community, right? But I think the blacks in New York,
Yeah,
when you
but
say
32% is big, CD. 32% is pretty big.
yeah, it is big, but not compared to the black vote, right?
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Yeah, so they have some impact. When you talk about running camp, because Madani, you got to understand, the Jews, they were not even supporting him the way people think they were supporting him. He was just lucky. He was more of like, someone that just came to power, some sort of populism. People admire him. People say we want change. We everything cannot be for the rich. So he was just lucky, and even when they were running, when they were having those debate, one of the things that really make him win, all those other guys were saying, well, when you are elected, what would be the first place that you're going to visit? All of them said Israel, Jerusalem. I'm going to visit Israel. He said, no, I'm not going to go to Israel. I'm going to stay in New York. My focus is New York.
Excellent tactic.
That point alone making to win this election.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that helped me a lot, right? Because Eric Adams and all these other guys would say, oh, first I'm going to go to Israel. I'm going to go to Israel. He said, no, I'm not going to go to Israel. It's not Israel, it's not America. So my focus is going to be in New York. That helped me a lot to win this election.
I would have said the same thing.
Right. So, but it's going to be tough for him. The city got a deficit of $5.4 billion. And it has to be a way to bring in money, you know. Even now, like a lot of people that ride those buses, they're not even paying for it. But now they have those security forces at every bus stop. When you refuse to pay the bus, sometimes they are not there, but when you're unfortunate, you arrive at the bus station, they can give you $130 bus ticket, right? Which is more than say $2.50, you know. So I hope he's gonna make it, but it's gonna be a tough situation for him. But
All right, go ahead, KJ. Then I'll pass it to M. Go ahead, KJ.
Appreciate you for having me on, sir. I wrote down a few things because the amount of stupidity that I'm hearing on this panel. Sorry to put it like that, but I have to be frank. First of all, this all comes down to the 2030 census, which is why Democrats are spending so much money to fund illegal immigrants and keep them in their cities. Because one, people are leaving blue states and running to red states. So when the 2030 census come around and they start counting all the people that are in each state, if you don't count illegal immigrants, red states will have gotten bigger, so they'll have more electoral college votes. That's what this is all about when it comes down to it. Secondly, I heard somebody, Kathy is for the poor. Do you not realize Kathy Hochul is a Democrat? Kathy Hochul is the reason why your taxes are so high. Kathy Hochul is the reason why businesses are leaving. Kathy Hochul is the reason why nothing works the way it's supposed to in New York, but she's for the poor. Okay, thanks a lot for that one. Then if we want to talk about, oh, New York voted for this. No, New York didn't vote for that. New York voted to fight against Trump. That's why, because New York is full of TDS, lazy people who want stuff for free. You think, and then everybody told everybody in New York, it's not going to work like that. Nothing is free. Somebody's going to have to pick up the tab. The rich people are going to leave. They're going to transfer the taxes over to you. Mamdani doesn't have any actual power as a mayor. The only power that mayors have is to raise property taxes. That's the only power that he has. But we told y'all that. Y'all didn't care. Because y'all only thing y'all heard was, oh, he's going against Trump. The fascism. We're gonna go against Israel. Y'all love that. Ooh, y'all love that. Y'all love going against Israel. Y'all said, we told y'all that. We told y'all that. And then we talk about affordability. How you talk about affordability? Affordability, first and foremost. If everything is going to be free, how are people going to make money to pay for work? You see what I'm saying? Like, all of this is a scam. Y'all like the prospect of getting things for free. That's why you got hustled, because you never thought to ask yourself, but wait, who are all these people that are gonna watch our kids for free? Who are all these people that are gonna teach our kids for free? Who's all these doctors that are gonna do heart surgery for free? Who's gonna, you see, because they're gonna get the money from somewhere. So they're always going to transfer the money over to the property taxes. That's the same thing that they did in Chicago, property taxes. Same thing they do in California, property taxes, because that's the maximum amount of power that mayors have, which is insane to me. Why y'all talking about, I hope he's going to make it work. It's like Mamdani was told prior to him getting elected, Kathy Hochul said, I'm not raising property tax. I'm not raising taxes on the billionaires. She said that national TV several times, and months on end. For some reason, y'all still think that Zohran Mamdani, the person that works under her, that can't do anything without her giving the approval. Y'all thought he was going to make her.
I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Who yours? He
Who's
not.
y'all? But bro, I'm not
He's out
even
of
done
his
though.
mind.
But check this out. Check this out. When they talk about they got 32% of the Jewish vote, the people that voted for Zohran Mamdani were dumb, young, educated college kids. That's who voted for Zohran Mamdani. That's the Jewish people that voted for him. Ain't no rich billionaire on Wall Street voted for Zohran Mamdani. That's second and foremost. Way to bring in the money. And then they talk about this. Mayor Adams left a mess. Mayor Adams left a balanced budget. The only reason why the budget deficit went from 11 million to 7.5 billion to 5 billion. Excuse me, I said million with the 11, but I meant billion. The only reason
Do you
why
know
it
the
went
difference
down like,
between billion and million?
bro, stop interrupting me. Only reason why the billions, only reason why he's down, only reason why the budget went from $2 billion surplus from when he went into office to 12 billion at one point, now down to 5 something billion dollars, is because he wants to add all the extra free shit. He needs the extra money to pay for all the free shit that he promised to give you. And he was going to tax the rich people who was never going to pay the taxes, because we know rich people already know how to work the tax code. They was always going to pass it on to you. They were always going to raise the price. They were always going to do that to you. What do you think this was? You thought this was a new day in America? No, this is capitalism. Sorry to tell you that.
Yeah, but
What were
I
y'all
don't know what you
thinking?
mean
What were
by.
y'all
Can
thinking?
you?
What were
Which
y'all
state do you
thinking?
live?
I'm
Which
not
state
done
do you
yet.
live?
Who's y'all?
New Yorkers. And matter of fact, I'm not even talking about New Yorkers. I'm talking about the people that voted Brandon Johnson in office that said free stuff. I'm talking about the same people that voted for that lady in Seattle that's promised to give them all the free stuff. I'm talking about the people in Virginia that voted in Spanberger, who will just introduce 50 new tax laws to tax you from everything from gym memberships, because they care about your health and they want you to be healthy, which, so they're going to tax you on your gym membership, and they're going to tax you on your Uber rides, your lawnmowers, your pet services, everything in between that. So yeah, so y'all are getting hustled with them
Well,
saying they're gonna
let
give
me
you
ask you a
free stuff.
question.
Nothing's free.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Who do you think was going to win New York beside a Democrat?
Exactly. Nobody but a Democrat.
Only a Democrat going to win. It depends on which Democrat you get.
Exactly.
But what are you
And why
talking
did
about? You
they
said New
win?
York is the
Right.
most
So I mean,
expensive
But you have to
city.
think about why they won. What was the message
So
that
what
they
is
said they won? They said we're going to give you free shit.
always going to win Democrat, bro.
Yeah, but
And
you say
rich
New
people
Yorkers
never
are
move out of
lazy
New York.
Rudy
people.
Giuliani at one point was the mayor of New York. He was a Republican mayor. He was tough on
Temporarily.
crime. But he was tough on crime. Taxes weren't raised up. If you notice that, you don't ever hear Republicans saying, "Hey, how about we find a new way to tax people?" Only Democrats propose that.
Yeah, but I'm actually, you said New Yorkers are lazy and they don't. New York is the most
Exactly.
expensive city. You can't afford to live in New York. You are talking right now. You cannot spend a month to live in New York. I will tell you that.
I
It's the
wouldn't
most
want to live in
expensive
New
city
York.
to
It's a
live in.
shithole. There's shit all over the sidewalk. Why would I move to
Because
New
you
York?
have no idea what you're talking about.
So what are you
Yes,
so
I
angry?
do.
Why are you so angry about a place you don't live that doesn't affect your life?
Exactly.
Because it's seeping all over America. Because it's
Okay,
starting to infiltrate
let
all of
me
America. If you
let me
look at
give you
all
an
over
example,
America,
right? Hold on one
if you
second,
look at,
brother.
I'm gonna
You
give you an
guys talk
example.
about
If
New
you look
Yorkers
at
are
all over
lazy. You can't
America,
afford to live in New York.
if you look
New
at
York have a
all
lot of
over
high
America,
earners.
if you
I
look
thought
at
I was
all over America, if you look at all over America, in all these cities from the south to the east to the
Bro, you
west
out
to
of
the
your
north,
mind. You talk about New Yorkers are lazy. You can't live in New York. You can't afford to live in New
Bro,
York. I will
I've lived in
guarantee you that.
California before. I can live in New York if I wanted to. I make decent
Come
money.
on,
I
man.
actually have skills.
Okay, let me say this, right?
Yeah,
I live in Minnesota, right?
You're over talking,
right.
bro.
I live in
You don't
Minnesota.
know.
This is a
You don't know
blue
what the fuck
state,
you're
for
talking about.
example.
You think
Hold on, bro. You've
everything's
been
supposed
talking.
to be
Let me
free,
get 30
and
seconds
you
in here,
also
real quick.
sound like
Let
you're
me
from a foreign
let me get
country where your
let me get
country
30
ain't put
seconds in,
together.
bro. We
Oh,
we hear you. We hear you. Let me get 30 seconds, right? So I live in a
Bro,
blue
you was
state.
talking for the whole time and nobody said
No,
nothing.
no,
You
I
talked for
wasn't
like 5
talking.
minutes straight.
No. That was you. You just talked for like 5 or 6 minutes. Let me just get
You
30
were
seconds.
too.
No,
Why
no.
do you have to interrupt me?
but let
No.
Average talk.
Yeah,
Let
but
him
you
give
said
his
what you're
point.
going to
Let
say
Average
already,
Yeah,
talk.
let
bro.
me get 30
I
seconds
thought I
in.
I
was
was
next.
not done. Y'all kept
I thought I
interrupting
was
me.
Yeah, but
next.
there's nothing else for you to
The
say.
Just
bigger you
30
You've
seconds,
continue
already
bro.
to
said
Look,
it.
repeat
I live in a
yourself,
blue
you
state,
continue
right?
to repeat
We
yourself.
had
You
a
say one thing over
program.
and
We have
over.
a program here for free lunches and breakfast for every school age students from K, K through 12, right?
In Minnesota.
And the Republicans were saying that we can't afford it. We can't afford it. We shouldn't give these kids. And I remember when I was going to school, my
You
parents
said
didn't make.
Minnesota?
Yes, my parents didn't
The
make.
place where all the
Hold
fraud is going.
on, bro.
Thanks.
Let me just make my statement. My parents didn't make so low income that I could that I
Nobody wants to hear
qualified.
about your fraudulent Minnesota.
One
Nobody cares
second,
about
bro.
North
I mean,
Somalia.
is this what we're doing? We're going to be fighting with each other? I just want to make a statement and just tell you
I
that
don't know
people.
why he mad
Like
at New
I was
York.
doing
Right.
before you interrupted me.
So
You
I
don't
don't
like
know
it,
why
huh?
you mad at New
one
York.
second, brother.
You can't live in New
So
York.
we pay that tax. It's a manual tax, and we pay the tax so that every kid in the school, regardless of their parents' income level, have free lunch and breakfast. It wasn't free when I was going to school. My parents didn't make so low of an income that I qualified for free
Average
lunch, so
Somalian
we
pays
had to pay for lunch
$700 in
all
taxes
throughout
a year.
my primary school years. So now we take on that tax burden so that the young kids and the majority of the young kids in Minnesota can benefit from it. So when you live in a blue state, sometimes you're willing to pay a little more tax so that the vast majority of society can benefit. And that's fine
He
sometimes.
just referred to a place that was committed $9 billion worth of fraud
I
in
mean,
this
bro,
year.
That's a
you
lie.
don't
That's a
live here. You
lie.
don't even know what's really
That's a
going
lie.
on. You just watch these little videos and you think
Democrat
you know
ran
what's
city.
going on here. You don't know
That's
what's
a
going on
lie.
here.
That's not true.
Minnesota has been a blue state for a long time, and people that live here, they're
Can I
Democrats.
get my
They
turn to
like the
talk?
policies, and that's why they vote for Democratic mayors and governors and senators. So what are you talking about?
It's a scam.
Whatever you say, bro. You don't live here. You just
Can I get my turn to
Just
talk?
like California, where I used to live at, they have a homeless initiative, and they
Yeah,
spent $250
I think
billion. Just homelessness got worse. If they're
I
spending
think it's
money on
time
it, how come
for
they're being?
brother M.
But you don't
Y'all
live
do
in
I
New
think it's
not
York.
time
know
What
for
is your
nothing.
problem?
Can I get
Y'all
my
love to
turn
get
to talk? The
hustled.
guy got a lot of passion. You
yes,
can't solve all the problems in this discussion right here.
yes, M. Yeah, you next, please. Thank you.
I wanted to talk about what I heard Colonel, what his name, Colonel Bay say earlier. He said that because Mamdani is a Muslim, he's going to look out for all Muslims, right? You can't be serious because you look at Mauritania, the white Muslims oppress the black Muslims. Any black community in America, the Arabs, the white Arabs are exploiting the black community. They don't teach Islam. They don't help anything. So you can't just say he's going to look out for Muslims because he's an Arab and he's just a Muslim. Another thing I heard was New York was dirty. That's pretty much the identity of New York. It always been like that. But the comment I really want to make, when Mamdani made his acceptance speech, when he said that New York is going to be a city of immigrants that was built by immigrants. When I was in elementary school, the teacher, the librarian showed us a documentary about Wall Street. In this documentary, they had black people building Wall Street as slaves. And when they died, they buried their bodies under there. Their bodies are still there. He totally discounted the entire history of black America. But he said that New York was built by immigrants and a city for immigrants. And then I think when the topic of this discussion is FBA. FBA make up a very small percentage of New York. New York is pretty much, the black people in New York is pretty much people from Africa or the Caribbean. The black people have been driven out of New York a long time ago. They live in Atlanta. They live in Houston. So I think Mamdani is just spewing a rhetoric. He's just telling you whatever you want to hear just to get in office. His true agenda, probably colonialism for the Arabs. He's like in the Quran, they say, the hypocrite, when he's around the believers, he say, I'm with you. But when he get around the disbelief, he say, I'm just lying. I'm really with you. He's just telling everybody what they want to hear. And when Trump got in there, when Mamdani won and Trump invited him to the White House, Mamdani ran like a lap dog. After all that stuff he said about Trump, he ran to him like a lap dog and got in his lap like a little puppy. And just like when Trump didn't invite Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, and when he invited him, Wes Moore said, I'm not going to go. I got standards. But once he got that invitation, he ran to him like a little lap dog. He ain't got no principle. They tell you what they want to hear because their true agenda is something that we don't know. We get caught up, okay, they care about this. He don't care about none of that. Mamdani is there for his own agenda. He don't care about the immigrants there, the blacks there. All he care about is Arabs. Just like all the Arabs in the world. You see what I'm saying? Like the property tax in Chicago. I heard that the guy that was passionate, he want to solve all the world's problems. He talked about the people that voted for Brandon Johnson. I live in Chicago. When Brandon Johnson ran, he said he was going to help the teenagers with jobs, the ones that's unemployed. When he got in there, he allocated all the money to illegal immigrants,
And
billions
he
of
just
dollars,
raised the
just like in New
property
York.
taxes.
Right.
Right now, the property taxes double because they want to keep financing the illegal aliens. Like when what's his name? Eric Adams. When Eric Adams was in there, they were sending the migrants to New York. He told Joe Biden, "This is going to destroy us. We can't keep doing this." But he spent $6 billion. But because he went against Joe Biden,
that's not
they
true.
put he spent
That's not
$6
true.
billion housing it and giving money and debit
video.
cards to
It's
illegal
true.
aliens.
All right.
But what I'm saying is they put the case on him, and the media turned against Eric Adams. So that was a perfect opportunity for this guy to just tell everybody, "I'm a socialist. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." And now he just totally threw everything he said in the garbage because he's a hypocrite.
Okay, do you know who put the illegal immigrant into the high-end hotel? It was Eric Adams. He did that. It was
Because
not
he had
nobody. It was Eric Adams that put all these
It's the
immigrants in
ordinance,
the
the
high-end
sanctuary
hotel.
ordinance.
And
It's the
then when
ordinance that was already written.
Madani went to the White House, what Trump said, he said, "You can call me any kind of name. He's just a smart guy. He's a cool guy. You can call me or white. You want to call me?" Trump
He
bowed
ran
down
to Trump
to
like a
this
dog.
guy.
What I'm saying is, Mamdani don't got to deal with illegal because Biden is not the president. See, when they say Eric Adams was the president, was the mayor of New York, crime
It
was
was a
down at a
disaster.
20-year low. It was a 20-year low. He got crime down, and he had to deal with this crisis and the pandemic. You see what I'm saying?
And he was corrupt and taking gifts from Turkey.
Fact.
I mean, that happened before he became a mayor. What you talking about?
Oh, okay. All right.
No, you know who brought all this disaster to New York City was Eric
Kathy
Adams.
Hochul.
He been the worst mayor that we ever had. The worst. For the fact that this guy had 20
So he's
years
worse than
experience.
Giuliani.
So
He's worse than
Mamdani.
he's worse than Giuliani.
Michael Bloomberg.
Bloomberg. He's worse than Bloomberg.
Oh yeah, he's worse than Bloomberg.
Bill de Blasio.
Yeah, he's worse than
He's worse than everybody
Hey,
else.
guys, let me read the super chat. Chicago 1288. Thank you for $5 holla. Property taxes don't just apply to homes; they also apply to businesses.
No, that's not true. Downtown got a 60% tax break. Most of the property tax went up in the black neighborhoods, the west side, south side, and the black south suburbs because most of the south suburbs pretty much is black. They saw
If
like
you open up a
100%
business and you rent a,
but let me tell you,
you have to pay the property tax.
But the tax is only proposed; it's not implemented. So nobody is feeling that tax hike yet.
The Trump Tower got I think a 60% tax break downtown. The Trump Tower got a tax break. What you talking about?
No. We're saying the Mamdani 9.5 tax increase proposal is only proposed; it's not being implemented.
The fact that he would even propose that after telling you he was going to make your life affordable should draw questions.
Yeah. He tell you whatever you want to hear.
But you got no idea what you're talking about. You call New Yorkers lazy? You can afford to live in New York? Because
KJ, you was talking crazy when you came on, brother. You were just saying all kinds of stuff. You're not even a New Yorker.
Lazy people would vote for somebody to get something for free that they could work for.
Oh my God! No New Yorker will ever live. You will not need to live in New York for free. This is the most expensive city in town.
Bro, be American.
He lives in New York, so he knows what's going on in the city. You don't live in New York.
Listen to me.
No, but hold on. What Mike? But CD, he was Mamdani was pushing a bunch of free shit on his agenda, on his campaign show.
He won for free stuff.
No, he had a way to fund it. He everything he said down there was a proposal to the voters that I'm going to tax the billionaires 2%, and I'm going to fund it with that money.
Right, but he doesn't have the
so
power
it's not
to
free.
tax
He's by
billionaires.
taxing the wealthiest New Yorkers.
They're not getting taxed, Elvis.
Oh well, the voters believe him. So now he got to deliver. That's all it is.
Brandon Johnson said the same thing. It didn't go through. He said the head tax. It didn't go
I don't
through.
even live in New York, but I know that the mayor can't raise property taxes on billionaires. I know that as a mayor, the only power you have is to raise property taxes. But I'm not from New York.
But you can't raise it on billionaires because they're immune.
Right? Y'all niggas
what do you mean by he can raise property taxes?
Correct.
The only power that mayors have is to raise property taxes. That's the only power mayors have.
Yeah, and billionaires have property. What are you talking about?
Oh, mayors also have executive power. They can make executive
did
orders.
he say? Okay, that's I like how y'all went to that. But did he say he was going to tax billionaires 2% of their income, or did he say he was going to tax them on their property?
No, but he doesn't have the power to tax the
You see how he
billionaire
got hustled
on
again?
their income.
You guys are trying to do mental gymnastics to excuse him for hustling y'all.
No, but what I'm
Yeah, can I
telling
take my
you
can I take my
is
turn
only the
after CD?
governor has the power to do that. But you don't even know the difference between the governor and the state right now. You're talking about taxing or billionaire on their income?
That's what the 2% income, the 2% increase on their income was what he proposed. He never
He
said
can't
we're
do
going to
that
tax you
though.
on your
But he can't do
properties.
that.
Exactly. He
can't
don't
do
have
that.
the power to do it.
tell you what you want to hear.
Everybody told y'all that, and y'all said we were dumb and we was hating on y'all. Y'all want everything for free.
Man, first of all,
Okay,
stop saying
can
y'all,
I?
bro. God damn.
Yeah, can I
Y'all
take my
voted
turn
for
now?
him.
Is that right?
Y'all just said
Who's y'all?
New
Who's
Yorkers
y'all?
voted for it. Who did the
Okay.
Californians vote for New York or what?
Okay, let Africa come in. Let him talk, please.
Bro,
All
not
right.
everybody here live in New
Thank you,
York.
sir.
Go ahead,
Thank you.
Africa.
Thank you. Yeah,
He
thank you,
acts like
sir.
somebody in Alaska was voting for New Yorkers.
We
Okay.
don't
I
live
just
in New York.
researched
We
it, and
don't
yes,
live
he
in New
can.
York.
New York
I
is
mean,
the only state that can do it. New York City is one of the
to
only
me,
cities where the mayor can
Elvis,
raise
Elvis,
income taxes.
Go ahead,
So you're
Africa.
wrong.
Go
me,
ahead, Africa.
thank you. Yeah, to me, it sounds like Mamdani is a socialist politician in a capitalist country, and those people politicians that actually make promises without with a manifesto. There's no clause in the manifesto. You see, so legally he's not bounded to do what he promised. So we need to get this right, because he could promise black people or his constituent everything, and he can come to power. Once he get there, he can change his mind and say, "Look, I did not see the books. This is what I found," etc. And what we learned from living in the UK is the most capital is a socialist country, but it's the most capitalist country in Western Europe compared to the European countries. Okay, we are very we have to look at
America is a
America.
socialist country too.
Sorry?
America is a socialist country too.
I would okay.
Don't tell the MAGAs
I thought
that they
America.
don't know.
I thought America was a capitalist country, but in
So
the
they,
UK we are.
but it's a socialist country, bro.
It's a capitalist country with socialism safety nets.
Yeah, it's a socialist
Yes,
country.
yes,
Corporate
yes. We
socialist,
have
socialist
safety
okay.
nets. It's definitely not.
Yes,
It's
we do
Look.
we do have those.
Socialists for
We
the
do
rich.
have those.
They got corporate welfare for the rich.
Exactly.
Capitalists for the poor.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
They
I
got
like that.
corporate
That's a good
welfare. They
way to
get
look.
big into the rich.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So the safety nets that's there in the UK have been eroded, years after years by the politicians that slightly tend to be lean to the right. Okay, and
I
then
have a quick fact check. As of February 26, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani lacks direct authority to raise income taxes, as this requires approval from Governor Kathy Hochul and the state legislator in Albany. So please, sir, shut up talking to me about New York.
All right. Okay. Stop. Okay. Well, let me finish. You can interject those people that you want to interject. Okay. So basically, the socialism, the socialist mayors in the West tend to increase in the UK tend to increase tax, and you can learn a lot from me because we have fluent politicians being elected more often than America. Because some of them actually are very incompetent and they can get kicked out and removed easily from the system. So the city where I live, the the population always we have people that come in just like Mamdani, promise us everything in this world, and come in, raise taxes, and not only after they raise the taxes, they take the safety nets away from us. Okay, so we gain nothing. So it's even worse sometimes. Or we have a mayor that's slightly lean to the right. He will actually remove the safety nets. Okay, and then he will cut taxes. So it's a choice
Welcome to the
that
world of a politician, bro.
yeah,
That's
But
the world
yeah.
of business. When you cut taxes and you raise business.
Yeah, I mean, to me, based on what I've experienced, it's some like the mayors. I think it's all about the balance, isn't it? If you don't have a good balance and you look at the population and see where I'm going to cut the taxes, it's basically knowing where you're going to cut, where you're going to raise taxes. This is the bottom line of everything that we're talking about today. But Go back to Mamdani. He's not an Arab. He's a Southeast Asian. I think Pakistani or Indian from
It's
Uganda.
Indian born Uganda.
Yeah, okay, exactly. And these are the people that have more animosity towards the Black African race than any people I came across politically, okay, in the UK, because a lot of them over here, okay. And the reason why that is because we all know what happened to them in Uganda, okay. They was chucked out by Idi Amin. They came to the UK. The UK helped them out, and the UK government, put them in higher places to basically oppress black people. I don't know about Mamdani. I don't know about his background in America, but basically, from what we learn from these people, they've never been good for black people. Okay, not people of African descent. So we need to be careful with that also. And so yeah, if you ask me, okay, the center left politicians tend to have a bit more sympathy in terms of the poor, okay, because they tend to keep those safety net there, but at the same time increase slightly bit more tax from the rich. But is Mamdani going to do that? As you guys said, he was voted in by 35. Yeah, by 35%.
You're a New Yorker. Why did you vote for Mamdani?
Elvis, let me finish, man.
You're a New Yorker.
Elvis,
Why did you vote for Mamdani?
No, I was not in New York. I was in Kenya, in Nairobi. If I was here, I was going to vote for him. But I don't spend that much time in America.
If he was going to vote for him because he wanted some free shit.
But if I was
That's what I'm asking. Is that because you wanted free stuff, or did you like his policies, proposals?
Elvis, can you just be quiet? Let me just finish.
The reason is I just didn't like the way they were running the campaign. For the fact that Eric Adams was a disaster, and he was not care for New York at all. He was corrupt, and the street was not clean. He was not taking care of anything. Even people were doing a lot of stupid shit on the subway. He was not even working.
You mean
and for the fact that the black lady
they did stupid shit on the subway before Eric Adams.
it was worse.
If I can interject, CD,
no, you're wrong, bro.
Let me finish. Then okay.
It's me talking. So my good friend in New York, he worked for the New York Police Department for like 30 years, and stupid stuff been going on in the subways. So
long time.
Yeah,
so.
my advice is be careful.
I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying is, it got worse, Dennis. It got worse, and for the fact that the police lady that was there as a police mayor, and he was suppressing this lady. He was there pushing this lady to a limit. She was not even doing her job, and besides that, he took his brother and put his brother on a payroll that was making 6-figure salary. Was not even doing shit for New York City. So he was so corrupt. That never happened in New York City at all. That was the first time ever that we ever experienced.
No, it was much worse before.
I voted for him.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Mr. C.
Can I land after that, please? Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go on, brother. Just go on. I will land after you.
Like, CD, he seems to not factor in the millions of migrants that was invited into New York that was setting people on fire, cooking rats on the streets, attacking people, getting free housing, free money. Did that have anything to do with it, Mr. CD? Do you even think that happened?
Well, it happened. I will explain that to you. I did not like the fact that Mary Adams took those high-end hotels and put this migrant into those hotels just for his political gain, because he wanted to cover up all the corruption that was going on. Joe Biden had nothing to do with that. So
where was they going to go? Where were they going to go? They was in shelters. They was everywhere. Where was they going to go? They was in New York.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. There was way to find solution to it than putting them in those high-end hotels, inviting them to New York City, because he even offered buses for those migrants to come into New York City, right? He did that because he thought that he was going to win his second term.
Look, listen, man. Chicago had the same problem. They put them in high-end hotels. They gave them $15,000 cards. They put them in free housing. The same thing happened in many Democrat states.
$9,000
a month. Policy of the president.
No. People exaggerate.
The only people that got free stuff was the migrants. People in here talking about free stuff. I seen them
Yeah, we
migrate.
have
They
this.
still living in the neighborhood for free right
Yeah,
now.
we still have the same problem in the UK where the immigrants been put in hotel and the local population are sleeping in the streets. Okay, and and it's actually causing a lot of
And I'm
lack of
actually
cohesion. Okay, it's causing a lot
sorry
of
about that.
lack of
Go ahead.
cohesion. Can you please? Thank you. So it's causing a lot of lack of cohesion in the country, and politicians are doing this willfully in the UK to galvanize votes. Like, for example, the last Conservative Party that was in government, the one that started this policy of putting politician asylum seekers in hotels, okay? And because they know they're going to be out of power because the polling was so bad, and they left that mess for this government to clear. So the
Yeah,
reality is,
the Texas and Florida governors were sending migrants up north to New York. They were letting them come
yeah,
through their borders and then
okay,
shipping them
okay,
all the way to New
okay,
York to Florida City.
okay, okay. Elvis, I find it very, very uncivilized when you actually someone is right in the middle of conversation, you're cutting them off. You done it second times. Please don't do it again. And so basically, is a tactics that the politicians are playing. The immigrants have been turned to a ping pong game for polling. It's a fact, and you guys need to see that coming from us. They will use that as anytime election comes, they will use that as a tool to galvanize votes. Because a lot of people in America now are angry because Americans who pay in taxes, they actually cannot afford somewhere to stay, and they're sleeping in the streets, and they haven't problem feeding their family. But then you have immigrant that comes in the country, they've been given 5-star hotel, they're given cards, and some of them actually are staying in this hotel with those cards, and also they're doing work at the same time, and where the local residents cannot afford that. And also, the socialist politicians are very dangerous for black people in the West. Those that are not those that cannot control, the radical policies, and I think they're very deceiving people in general, and using the right haters. So I don't know what we need. We need what suits us in the West.
Yeah.
We need to have our politicians who follow our own agenda and actually stay away from all this socialist, um, this whole global socialist policy or global capitalist
Facts.
policy. We need to have grassroots, system in the West that support our people, so we don't have to rely on the governments or this politician to look after our people that is in need. If this is a new trend, if we don't do this now, moving forward, our people are going to suffer because they're going to use policies as a weapon against us. They already have, in terms of they'll use the economic policies, they'll use social policies, they'll implement so many policies to drive us out. We need to look at those things. Okay,
What a silly thing to
I
say.
find it very uncomfortable. I find it really uncomfortable when people are having a good conversation and some people are interrupting. But I pass the mic. Thank you, Dan.
Right. Well, the people in the UK that benefit from the free healthcare system there, isn't that a form of socialism? Are you going to tell the immigrant population not to benefit from the healthcare system that's paid for
I am
by
not.
the people in the UK?
I am not saying they shouldn't, but they should be allowed to put into the system. So when they come into UK, they should be given a document to work while they actually making decision on their claim. Okay, so whatever they take from the system, they already contributed. That would cause less problem. But what
That
they're
drives
doing
down
is
wages.
yes. So what they're doing is they actually bringing these people in. They're restricting them from working, which is the first thing they do, and then these people are actually given a house, they're given a card, yeah, and then these people also are working illegally. So that's causing the problem. You cannot deny that, Elvis.
Let me
This
say
socialist
this.
No,
policy.
but I mean, I think that did not happen in New York. All these people that they brought
Okay.
in, and they give
That
them
did
working
happen in New
permit.
York.
They give them working permit, and they were
Okay,
working.
let me
And
explain this
and,
how
and
it
the
goes.
person that caused us the disaster was Eric Adams because he thought he was going to be elected for a second term. Nobody should put this blame on Madani. Madani did not lodge. He did
The
all of this
person to
because he
blame
wanted
for
the
what
Spanish
happened
vote.
to
He
New
wanted
York
the
is Joe
black vote.
Biden.
That's why he put those guys in the high end hotel. Eric Adams, they were the
Y'all
one
don't
that
even
caused
know
a
how to end up
disaster
in
for
the
New York City.
hotel. Do
What's
y'all know
that?
how to end up in the hotels?
Yeah.
The hotel. Okay, I'm gonna explain this to you. Joe Biden is the one that opened up the border.
No,
Nobody
no,
wanted
no.
this. Oh,
No,
bro, so stop,
the
bro.
Republicans,
Please stop.
were transporting these people to New York City.
Bro,
Texas,
okay,
they
bro,
were
calm
giving the
down. I'm
buses to bring
explaining
them
what
to New
I'm
York
about to
City.
explain it to you. I'm about to explain it to you. I promise
But
you I'm
that's
going to get
what
to
I'm
all of that.
telling you. The way they
Yeah,
got
No,
into
you're
New
not
no,
going to
York
know what I
City.
was going to say.
let
I'm going to tell you what I was going to say.
KJ
Okay.
speak. Go ahead, KJ.
Brilliant. Thank you. So check this out. Joe Biden is the one that opened up the border. Nobody wanted that except for Democrats. They only wanted it because they called Donald Trump racist, xenophobic, and all this other bull crap. So they said, no, everybody deserves to be here. Everybody deserves to be here. Joe Biden told you he's going to open up the border. Day one of the border, Joe Biden opened up the border, even though the Texas and all these other states said they didn't want to have to deal with it. So then when Texas got overwhelmed with the immigrants, what did they do? They sent them to sanctuary cities. What are sanctuary cities? Cities where designated in the United States of America for immigrants and asylum seekers to go to seek asylum in America. So what places asylum a sanctuary city? We would look at places like California, Los Angeles, Chicago, Illinois, New York. You see how this works? And then what
He's an
happened,
idiot.
how they end up in these high-end hotels is the Joe Biden administration signed contracts with these high-end hotels to put the illegal immigrants in there so they can finagle the illegal immigrants to voting, which is why every state that Kamala Harris won required no voter ID. Funny how that works. Funny how voter ID is racist as well now. Yeah. So all of this is just going. You have to understand. And y'all talk about the illegal immigrants are political pawns being used. They're being used by Democrats. The Republicans did not want open borders.
All right, but then let me tell you. Okay,
All of this
what
is Democrat policies, giving them free stuff, free health care, free education,
all right,
free all of
let
that
me
for illegal
respond to
immigrants.
what you
That's all
said. Let me
Democrat
respond to
policies.
you. You're repeating yourself. Let me respond what you just said.
I just
If
didn't
if
repeat
I,
nothing.
I
That was
agree,
all
I
fresh
agree with you
facts.
that Joe Biden opened a border, right? If you open a border and it reached in Texas, if the governor in Texas don't want to have some political gains, why would he send all these people to New York?
Because he's not a sanctuary city. There are
That's not
sanctuary
what it
cities that deal with
means.
illegal immigrants.
There's another option.
You
If you
can
don't want,
apply
there's
for
to send
asylum
them back.
at a point of entry. You don't have to go to a sanctuary city to apply for
Right,
asylum.
exactly. And the only point of entry to come in was through the southern border, which is Texas, Arizona, and all the southern borders, the red states that didn't want it. So then y'all start complaining when y'all start getting illegal immigrants. Hold on. I thought y'all loved illegal
Oh
immigrants.
boy.
Y'all got a sanctuary
Yeah.
city.
just
You
told you
got
they
a
don't apply for
designated
asylum
sanctuary
in New York
city. How you
City.
gonna
They
complain
apply
about
to the
illegal immigrants
border.
coming to your city?
Can I ask you a question, KJ?
That makes no sense. Y'all are a sanctuary city, but you're
KJ.
complaining about illegal immigrants coming to your city.
No, I'm
Hello,
telling you,
KJ,
they
can I
apply
ask
for
you a question?
asylum by the border. They don't apply
Another
for asylum
Democrat
in the
play
city.
too. That's a Democrat play.
K-
Ain't no sanctuary
K-
city in America Republican. Ooh, you
KJ,
see how this works?
KJ, can I ask you
Oh
a
boy.
question?
This
Can I ask
guy
you a
is
question?
unstable.
No,
Can I-
the reason why they're being sent to New York and all these sanctuary cities is because the mayors of these cities were, we welcome immigrants. So,
Those are facts.
the governor was like, okay, we're gonna send them to you.
No, but Dennis, there was a point in time that Mayor
The
Adam
best
was
way to red
complaining
pill
that
a
why you
Democrat
guys sending
is
these
give
people
them
to our
what they
city.
want.
He didn't start complaining to after the fact, but before then, Governor Adams was like, "Yeah, bring them. We're a city immigrant.
Chicago too.
Bring Chicago too." So Governor,
Los Angeles,
so the governor,
Seattle,
like, all right, we're gonna send them.
Portland.
Dennis, did they
But
send them
Dennis,
to majority black areas? Dennis, did
every
they send them
state
to majority
got
black areas?
illegal immigrants,
I
bro.
can't.
Florida,
You
everywhere.
can talk over each other. I can't hear you.
And it all goes back to the
Yeah.
2030 census. They want the illegal immigrants to add to
Let
their
someone else talk.
population
Let
for
Africa
electoral
talk.
college
I
voting.
mean, you continue to
God.
repeat. I don't know what you are angry with New York
I
City.
think
Do you have a problem in New
I
York?
can't hear. You guys are talking. I can't hear. Go ahead.
Yeah, KJ is making some valid point, but because he's so angry and he's shouting, he's making his points dwindle away. But what I'm trying to say is, do they allow most of these immigrants that are coming in? Are they sent to black areas, and also are they given working permits straight away? When they enter the US?
No, they don't say.
I don't know how that works. To be honest.
So when they come,
a lot of them are going to predominantly black areas, but then as far as the working permits and stuff, I don't know.
And then giving free housing, free cars,
with
free food, and they don't have to work.
with New York,
What
they
they
were
have to
not
work
sent
for?
to
They get
black
everything for
neighborhood.
free.
In New York City, they were sent into Midtown. Midtown It's in the middle of the city, in the high-end place, in the hotel. They were not sent to any
No,
black neighborhood.
but CD, they make their way to the black neighborhoods. That's just a fact.
Well, but they don't offer. The way these guys say that they give them
That's what a Section
comforting
8 housing
houses.
is.
These are
They
all
were put on
lies. They
government
never
housing.
offer
And
any
they weren't illegal.
housing.
If they were
That's
illegal,
not true. They never
Texas
offer
would be
any
committing a crime by
government
transporting
housing.
illegals to New York. They were
there was
asylees
a whole
seekers. They were
building.
seeking asylum.
They got
Exactly.
raided.
Because
Full
in
of
the UK,
Venezuelans.
in the UK, what they find out is it's not because this guy, even the most hard-wing anti-immigrant white man, wants these people to contribute to the society. They don't want them to come here and get free handouts. Okay, and like what Mamdan is offering. The most people in the UK, the most people in the UK are saying it's not like we're against immigrants. We want them to come in and contribute to the system, so they can pay into the system before they start taking out. So therefore, there's abundant jobs in the UK, economy that needs people to work. Why are these people being kept in a hotel instead of being given residential permit, or maybe not even residential permit, just like a temporary working permit?
Where should they be kept?
And do where should they be kept? And they could be in the hotels.
They should be kept on the other side of the border until they're processed to come through the right way.
That's why you don't understand what asylum is. You got to read the asylum laws.
In asylum, the asylum, exactly. So you're allowed
According to the
to come
asylum
in.
laws, all of them were supposed to stop in Mexico before coming to America.
No, that was just an executive order. That's not an asylum law.
No, because Mexico is considered a safe country. So they were
No,
supposed to stop in Mexico.
that's not the asylum law. Go read the 2016 Act.
That's the law,
Asylum
bro.
laws
That's
are
not the law.
international. Asylum laws are international. Okay, it's not just America or New York. These are global
America law
laws.
is America law.
And according, asylum law under the United Nations Convention of Refugees. But the reality is, as he's right, when you claim asylum to the first safe country you landed, that's where you claim asylum. And that's one of the reasons why the UK is sending those refugees that crossing the sea, the French Channel, to come to the UK, because they're saying these people they not qualify for asylum if they could leave France. If you could leave France and come to the UK. And let me just finish. So that's the problem here. They want those asylum seekers who come here legally according to the convention, the United Nations Refugee Convention, to be given a temporary work permit, fill those jobs that obviously needed in the country while the asylum is being processed. By doing that, you can actually find out where these people live instead of them absconding into the society. You can't find them anymore.
KJ, have you heard about the catch and release laws?
There's different reasons why, and also you can increase the tax book as well in the UK in the economy.
That's Joe Biden. Are you out of your mind? That's George W. Bush in 2006. Not Joe Biden.
But I'm talking about the person that put it into effect, that opened the border.
What do you mean? It was there from George W. Bush, who was former governor of Texas. The catch and release is you catch these guys at the border, at a point of entry. You process them if they're seeking asylum, and you release them, and they're supposed to go back for a court date to decide whether their asylum claim is legitimate or illegitimate, and they will be deported if it's denied.
You could just send
That's
them
the
back
law.
across the border. You don't have
That's
to
why
accept
Texas
them.
allowed them in and sent them to New York. Because if they were illegals, the Texas governors and the government would be facilitating illegal immigrants.
Joe Biden signed an executive order from the president saying that the borders have to be open. That's why Texas let them in. Texas didn't do it because a whole bunch of people showed up and said, "Hi, mi tengo hambre, mi necesito agua."
Okay, you're unstable, bro.
Elvis, can I ask you a question? Elvis, can I ask you a question? Would you allow people to enter into Liberia? Elvis, would you allow people to enter Liberia and actually giving all the goodies and taking the taxpayers' money and all the advantage of it? While Liberians haven't got any.
There's a difference between what you would like and what the law says, right? The law says. Let me explain something to you. You're talking about emotions, and we're talking about legality. The law says when somebody comes to a point of entry, hold on, if they come to a point of entry and they're seeking asylum, you process them and you release them. That's the law, signed by a Republican president.
That's what I
Okay,
just
then.
said.
So,
Political
my
asylum
opinion
is
doesn't
still
matter.
outstanding.
If I want it, it doesn't mean I can override the law and do what I want to do. You got to follow the
Why'd they
law. That's
leave
the point that I'm
Mexico
making.
I
if
think
they were
I
seeking
think you're
asylum?
arguing for argument's sake. I think
Okay.
Elvis is arguing for
I'm only
argument's
saying
sake.
what the
But
law is. Do you agree with me? That's the law.
All right, let me pass it to Tar,
yeah,
because I'm gonna pass it to Amara.
Oh yeah, okay, good. First of all, illegal immigrants was let in here under every president since day one. Doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. They always have illegal immigrants. That's number one. Number two, I work in Texas for a while, and Texas have a lot of illegal immigrants. Right? Is under Biden, and I don't like Biden. The Texas governor had no problem allowing illegal immigrants in before Biden. You see what I'm saying? So it might have expanded under Biden, but it doesn't matter. Whatever president is there. KJ, in Atlanta here in Georgia, there's a big refugee town. We call it international town. It's in Clarkson. We call it the international town. Refugees like crazy, right? And they came here, but they came here under the international refugee status, and they were allowed to stay here. And that's under whether it's Obama, Bush, Trump, whatever. They're very big here. So red state, blue state, almost every state have illegal immigrants there, and they got some sort of program for them. The blue states, of course, is more. All right. And those corporate hotels, they wanted the illegal immigrants, because the contract was big for them. So they rather have those customers instead of their regular customers that they normally have. So they were glad for them. Okay. They were glad for them because they made a lot of money off them. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to say.
All right, let me.
I agree with a lot of what he said.
No. It's Amara's turn.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
though.
Amara. Go ahead, Amara.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Comrade Mamdani in New York. It's time, because New York has always been an international city, regardless of whatever anybody want to say. The first protocol from immigrants, all type of immigrants, white immigrants, came to New York before they turned into the white race of America. Everybody came through New York, and New York is represented that way. So I don't see why FBA will be hating on that. That's just the reality of New York City. Half the percentage of the population is foreign. You see what I'm saying? And it's not only that. Certain other places like Minnesota, there's a large immigrant populations over there. I mean, and several other places in the United States. It's just the way it is. So FBA got to live with immigrants. And this immigrant thing about thinking ICE is the savior and ICE is going to set everything straight, and all these grudges you had of against immigrants, and they're coming here taking jobs and whatever. The reality is ICE cannot deport. I repeat, ICE cannot deport 11 million immigrants. 11 million, they say 11 million undocumented, cannot do that. They try to do self-deportation or whatever. The bottom line is immigrants is a permanent resident in the fabric of America. You know, I personally don't have that problem. You know, I was born in America, but I come from immigrant background, and I gotta say loud and clear that all this thinking about immigrants are gonna go, they're gonna get you out, they're gonna come on, man. Let it go. You know, immigrants are here to stay. You know, they're here to stay, they're part of America, whether people like it or not. And the best way you deal with America is handle your business, do what you're supposed to do, And don't worry about Trump coming in, Trump being a savior. Trump has always been a TV star. He always out there for a show. And the reality of the crux of the matter, you look at the people they apprehended. 75% of them never had a criminal record. Never did anything that you're supposed to be focused on the criminal. That's the first salvo. He fired. Focus on the criminal. And then you over there just rounding people up. And then you don't even have enough facilities. Towns are rebelling against you having facilities in their towns. The whole thing is just a big old mess. It's an ending and a starting and an ending of a thing. You need to come to certain conclusions, and then you end a campaign. If you're doing any type of campaign, it's a time limit in it. And it's time for Trump to just cut this whole thing off, man. Just cut it off. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, but
Dennis, can I
Amara,
come in?
yeah. Okay, sorry, go on. I was
So
gonna respond to Amara, but fine.
so what I would say is, this guy was saying that New Yorkers are lazy. First of all, when I was moving in Harlem was a black neighborhood. I would say probably it was 40% white and it was 60% black. But right now, we probably have 70% white, 30% black, right? There's no increase of black population in Harlem right now, right? And Harlem is probably the most popular neighborhood for African American, where we have Malcolm X Boulevard, we have Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. So the decrease of black population in New York had nothing to do with the increase of the immigrant population, specifically Harlem. So when they say they're bringing those guys into our neighborhood, it's somehow exaggerated. It's not true. That's not the reality, right? Most of these guys that come to New York as an immigrant, they put into high-end hotels, but they have spread out. They found out that New York is too expensive for them to stay. Most of them have gone, right? And they have given them working permit. First of all, before, they never used to give you working permit that lasts for 6 months. But right now, some of the working permit that they give some of these people is for 3 years, 4 years. It never happened before in immigration law. So all these things that is going on is more political than anything else. Even up to this time, some of them even now getting their working permit for 2-3 years. So everything that Trump is doing right now is more political. Obama
Yeah,
was the
most
one
of it.
that deported people, because what Obama did, I know he deported a lot of Africans that were criminal, that had criminal records, which was really good, right? But Trump is more political because he going with the MAGA flow. He want to, impress the MAGA that, he's deporting the immigrant. Yes, this guy that promised that he's now everything is going to be about America. Well, now he's going to invade the other countries. So now some of the MAGA people have realized, no, he told us that he's now going to be focusing on the foreign war. Now he's fighting other country. I thought his focus was going to be America, right? That's why Margaret Taylor Greene, she's like, oh, gee, what this guy is doing? I thought he's going to be only America. But it's not Trump's fault. Any politician can do that, right? So they will play with people's mind and make a lot of noise that they're deporting people. But the reality is that's not true. He
2
will do
million
what
so
he
far.
wants to do for himself.
Yeah,
So
I repeat. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's how
sorry.
I
Yeah,
see the whole thing, right? No, New York is too, as this guy that we're calling New York, lazy. He doesn't even, in New York today, you can't even get one bedroom for $4,000. Then nobody in Harlem that you can get one bedroom for.
But CD, I don't
So
know
when
why
you
you're going
call
over that. You
when
know
you
that
say
already.
New Yorkers are lazy, You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
You have no
don't
idea.
answer him for that, CD.
Hold on, if I can interject, CD, that's not true. They got one bedrooms that are rent controlled for $1,000 less than
No, I
that.
don't want no rent controls. No, that's
No,
the ghetto.
But they're not available,
Very few,
Based
Dennis. Very few.
on your income. There you go. They have a certain amount of units in each building that are that
They
have
do. They do.
Oh
They
yeah,
do. But very
Zohran
few.
Mamdani lives in one of those.
Dennis,
Yeah,
they
but
will
they're
tell
not
you
available.
say,
Everybody's picking them up.
Dennis, what I'm saying that they will tell you say there's a rent control, but if there are people that only live for 5-6 years, they can't even find an apartment. I'm in market rate apartment, right? I know about myself, but people who want rent control apartment, where is it available? They
You
put
gotta
them on the
wait 10
waiting list
years.
for 5-6-7 years. They can't even
You
get an
gotta wait a
apartment.
long time.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
not how people the way people talk about. It's not easy like that, Dennis. That's not true.
You have to
It
be
makes
making
no
a lot of
sense.
money in New York to survive in New York. So it's not for
So
lazy.
all the
It
illegal
is.
immigrants that was
a
getting
lot of this
Section 8 housing and food stamps and
lot,
all that stuff, that's made up. We
lot of
didn't
this
see
policy.
that. We didn't hear that. None of that ever happened.
Yeah,
They're not
lot of these
illegal
politicians.
immigrants for once. They're
This
asylum
is what I
seekers.
say. They weaponize
Not
lot of
illegal.
immigrant. They weaponize housing. They weaponize all their policies that they make.
This is your country. They have
weaponize it.
provision for those people. Immigrants can't come into your country and you let them sleep under a bridge or starve from starve from starvation. No, they are, because that's your law. People can seek
That's not
asylum.
the
You catch
law.
them,
The
you
law
process
didn't
them, and you
stop at the
release them.
first country before you get here.
Okay, that's what you want. Go ahead and
That's
implement
the
it, man.
law, bro. You have to stop at the first country for asylum.
That was an executive order.
One you want particularly.
Elvis. I'm all for black immigrants, moving in. Okay, I'm gonna give you a good example because I don't want to talk about America. I don't live there. In the UK here, we have the same problem with immigrant. But today, if you ask the black people that are born here, the people that have been here since the 50s, they'll tell you, yeah, we want more black immigrants because right now the black population in the UK is dwindling. It's gone down because of
Yeah, because
this
now it's all
immigration
Muslims.
policies.
Oh boy,
Sorry,
this guy is just a bigot.
Oh God.
It's all Muslims in the UK, bro. In my mind,
No, that's not true.
so the
Absolutely.
UK isn't
Where you
overran
going?
by Muslims.
No, 100% no. The Muslim population in the UK is probably not even.
Maybe you're talking about certain cities like Birmingham and places where you have high concentration of Muslims.
You can literally Google UK revolts against mass immigration, and you'll see like mass protests of people in the street waving the UK flag.
Yeah, but you're following KJ. KJ, calm down. You're following populist media and you're following the wrong information. Okay, the population in the UK.
I don't follow
the Muslim population. Yeah, okay, you don't follow it. That's a problem. Sometimes you need to follow
most of the politicians
the Muslim
in Britain
population
are like
in the UK.
Muslims.
Yeah, in the population.
You said most of the population in Britain are Muslims. Is that what you said?
There's 3.9 million people. How the 4 million people?
The UK
out of 4
is overran by Muslims.
4 million.
Yes,
that's not true. There's only 4 million Muslims in the UK. What are you talking about? Where did he get that statistic?
The UK is overran by Muslims.
Certain cities in the UK have a large Muslim population.
How many?
I think that's what you meant.
No, but even now, even
UK, bro. If you go to Ireland, you go to Scotland, you go to Europe, you go to France, you go to
You're talking to somebody who's living in the UK, bro. Listen to what he's telling you.
Stop lying.
Bro,
there's only 4 million people in the UK.
Bro, there's a whole fucking congressional hearings about this shit with the world leaders there. They're complaining about mass immigration. Germany, France, Ireland. Yes, they are, bro. Conor McGregor was even talking about it.
Stop him. You was making earlier, and now you're gone to It's only 6.5%. No, wait. Muslims only make 6.5% of the total population in the UK. Okay.
How many people did you say are in the UK?
Africa.
60 million people.
Africa.
No, 6.5. Wait. 6.5% of the population in the UK are Muslim.
He's asking for the total population. What's the total population?
It's current news.
It's about 60. It's about 60 million. Oh,
right.
Shut up. That's a lie. It's about 60 odd. It's over 60 million.
Google it for yourselves, people.
So 4 million population out of over 60 million. How is that overrun? KJ, let's deal with you first before I go further. How is 4 million population overrun over 60 million? Tell me.
The explosion in the Muslim
Okay, but
population with the mass
No, that's
immigration
not
is having
okay.
a negative effect on the
Okay.
UK.
Do you know one of the biggest investors in the UK economy are actually the Middle East? I don't know if you know that. It's not European Union. It's not
Okay,
the
so
white.
the UK is
Okay,
turning to the Middle
so
East, proving my point that it's
no,
being
you're
That's
not.
not
infiltrated.
true.
You're not
What are
listening.
you
You're not
talking about?
listening.
People
You're not
investing in your
What are you
country
listening.
to
talking
be
about?
turning into the Middle
What are you
East.
talking about? What are you talking about?
Because they invest.
What are you talking about?
I think you
What are you
you
talking
have
about?
lost
Just
you
like
have lost
China
the whole
is
The
argument.
pretty
guy
much
is
fucking running
disturbed, man.
Africa.
He's like a
This,
energizer
yeah, I
bunny
think
for mega,
KJ,
talking points.
No, because y'all
you
logic is flawed and y'all
You don't
arguments
know
don't
anything
stand
about
up
the
to
UK
facts.
population,
You was
and what percentage the
making
Muslim
valid
make up.
but yo,
you was making valid point earlier, and now you just destroyed everything that you actually did.
Bro,
But yeah,
the UK is
Bukinabe,
overrun
yeah,
by Muslims. It's just the
yeah,
facts.
Bukinabe, go on. What was you say? What was you gonna say, Bukinabe? I'm not gonna respond to you, KJ.
It's
Bukinabe, go on.
overran by Muslims. Sorry
okay,
to say it.
okay. Are you familiar with the Liverpool soccer team? The EPL, the
Liverpool soccer
Liverpool team.
Yeah, I'm
Etihad, yes.
familiar with it. I don't think
Man
KJ
City,
is.
man. That's not Liverpool. That's Man City. Etihad, yes. Sheikh Mansour owns
No, but
Etihad. Yes.
I'm talking about the Reds, the Liverpool team. There's a soccer player in that team after the name of Mo Salah. You know him? Mohamed Salah.
Mohamed Salah, the Egyptian, yes.
Exactly. I heard that he was like converting many of the Liverpool fans into Islam.
Listen,
in the
UK.
Oh boy! Let's not go there. Let's not go down a religious argument. Let's leave it.
Yeah. What was that? What was that about? So
the Muslim criticized him for celebrating Christmas with his family. So I'm not sure they think he's a good Muslim.
Oh God, what's wrong with black people and Islamic religion?
No, you said that he's converting people into Muslim. I'm saying the Muslim online criticizing him because he takes a picture with his wife and daughter in front of a Christmas tree and wearing, Christmas pajamas. So they're criticizing him.
Yeah. Everybody got his own life, Elvis. Everybody got his own life. Every Muslim makes his own independent decision.
What Muslim did? Okay. Let me just tell you one thing, right? Let me just listen to you. You see, Manchester City that you see today, okay? Manchester was one of the most run down city in the UK. The crime, the problems that was happening in Manchester, it was unbelievable. No one want to move there because the north of England is used to be the industrial hub of the UK, okay, during their industrial revolution, and nobody cares about the UK, okay? When there's a guy called Sheikh Mansour. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Arab. My first criticism today was to criticize this guy because of their link, okay? And Imam Mamdani. But all I'm saying is, when Sheikh Mansour came to Man City, he bought the football club, okay? When he bought Etihad, he transformed the entire area of Man City and the city itself. Today, Manchester is one of the most prestigious cities in the UK, okay? And he done it without expecting anything back from the UK government. All right, the UK government the British government. Most of their colonies in the world are Muslim. They're one of the people who colonize more Muslim countries than any other European country. So they're bound to have a lot of Muslim coming here, and also they trade with like Qatar and Saudi and all these countries, vice versa. So they don't really see the people that you see online, or the internet marching against Muslims in the UK. These are fringes of the people in the UK. Majority of the British people are very welcoming towards Muslim people, and they live with them with harmony, and they actually offer anything that you want. So what you see on the internet or what you see online, don't believe it.
But Al, to your point, right?
The only problem they had is Birmingham, okay? And this is where they get it confused. I mentioned earlier, Birmingham and the Southeast Asians are the problem in the UK. But they are,
and that's the problem, because some Muslims are calling for Sharia to be implemented in some cities in the UK, and some people don't like that, especially those who are Christians and from the West. So that's some of the chatter that's going on.
Leave religion out of this, bro.
We're just having a conversation. He's talking about the Muslims. I just made something, point. I'm not attacking anybody.
That's
right. I'm just saying, when you say Sharia, not everybody is on Sharia. Not all Muslims are part of that.
Sharia law will never happen in the UK. It will never happen in the UK.
But basically, Muslims are free-minded. Yeah.
Do you know where this anti-Islam thing started in the UK? I'll tell you. There's a town near Manchester called Rotherham. Okay,
Marrying 9-year-old little girls.
Right, Rotherham, yes. In Rotherham, there were a bunch of Pakistani men pimping white girls, selling them on, treating them like slaves over the years. They was actually these are Pakistani majority males, okay, and it was so bad. It was like the Epstein scandal equivalent to America, and this was brushed under the carpet by the police force, by the government at the time, and so on. So the conservative government that came into power, they saw that as a voting machine because these populist politicians, they're very dangerous. They use the population and they use tools against one another. So they saw that and they thought, oh God, that's a good, voting machine. Let's use that. So they used that as a tactic to target Pakistani males in the country and saying, oh, they bring in Sharia law. I follow all the progressive and the right wing and the left wing politicians in the UK. I'm very tapped in. So they're using that. But the big problem that England have, the UK have, is that guy that you have in New York as we're speaking, Mamdani, his people who came here, okay? And luckily, my city, we have minority of them in the city. And in the city in the UK where you have loads of Asians, you will find problem, okay? Because the white people here, they don't like them. It's not because of their religion, it's because of their culture. The culture from the East is totally different from the culture in the West. They will more gravitate towards the black Muslim or even to the Somali than they will gravitate towards Asian, whether they're Muslim, they're Islam or they're Hindu or Sikh. Okay, and this is the problem they have. They have issue with the Southeast Asians, and there's a heavy study that's been done by a professor who is a British man. He's not a right wing. He's not racist. He done a 30-year study of the Southeast Asian as people. He think they are the worst type of immigrants you can have in your country because anywhere they go, the GDP will fall. They will bring their own people in the job market and they will move the other people out there. That's the reason. That's why I'm warning you about Mamdani in New York. In the future, just keep an eye on these things, okay?
You know the problem I have. You know the problem I have with these people thinking all Muslims are the same. Every Muslim has their own different culture.
Somebody said that
Arab culture is not African culture. Southeast Asian culture.
If I could interject, the only I would say African Islam that I see is in Senegal. The rest of the black Muslims, they definitely practice the Arab version.
No, we don't practice those, sir. No, sir. We don't practice
the black Muslims predominantly throughout Africa are black.
All right, I disagree with you. Let me give you a question.
I disagree with you. Let me object to you.
Let me ask you this, Daniel.
No, sir. We have all African Islam.
My bad, Taraka. Guys, let's move on from my bad. We're gonna move on.
So okay.
It's not just me saying this. John Henry Clark co-signed on this. So go ahead.
Okay.
But I'm a practicing Muslim. I'm telling you that African Muslim is steeped in African spirituality. Where African Muslim is steeped in African spirituality. Arab Muslim is not African spirituality. I have no African spirituality.
Okay, we gotta move on. But go ahead. We gotta move on.
Yeah, so the Zohran Mamdani people, okay, they have put a bad test on the white population in the UK, right? So it's not because of their religion, and I have spoken to different people. I walked with people who been on these marches in London that KJ is talking about. These are some of my work colleagues, and when we break it down, they do not want Southeast Asians in their country anymore. Even Canada having problem with them. That's what I heard. Well, I don't live in Canada. I leave that to the people that live there. And because what happened is they will come in, okay, and they will pretend everything is all right. They will integrate, but eventually they will take sectors away from the locals and they will buy the houses around there. They will all put money together. I don't blame them because everybody wants the best for their community. But then by the time you know it, they will start using the system to just benefit their own instead of benefiting the neighborhood or the country where they found themselves. And if you look at how they are, They can be very cunning. And that's the reason why, in fact, in the UK, we have a film we call Love Thy Neighbor. I recommend people to watch that. It's about the black, it's the Caribbeans who came to the UK early back in the 60s, and the Asians who came here back in the 60s, and, you know, working in the factory with the white people, how the Asians always trying to undermine the black. When I say Asian, Southeast Asian, they're always trying to undermine the black with the white people. And then when it came to the strike, they wanted to go on side with the white. The white said, no, we don't want you. You're not part of us. And they went to the black. The black said, no, we don't want you. You're not part of us. That's the sort of games that they play between the black people and the white people over the years. And I think they're one of the reasons in the UK why black people and white people had problems. You know, so let's not think religion is the overall issue here. I think it's a cultural problem, and they don't gravitate to the Eastern. The white people in general are living the heart of the white psyche. America is the immigrant. The white psyche does not tolerate the Eastern culture. They don't like it. They don't like Eastern culture.
Africa, I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you off. What you're saying is 100% true. That's why the Americans have to understand. They try to group all Muslims together, right? And say, well, this is a Muslim person that I don't really support Mamdani because of his culture, because his culture is somehow different from Islam, right? What he said is 100% true. These people, they are very, very traditional people. They only focus on themselves. They don't consider anybody else. But the mistake that the Americans made, they try to group everybody together. I think in Europe, especially UK, they have already understand that this is how these people function. If we give them more power, they're going to dominate and they're going to create neighborhood and take over people places, right? That's what they have to understand. But they try to group all Muslims together, and that's not true. That's not it works. And Daniel was saying that Senegal is the only country that practice a separate religion. Daniel, you haven't been to other African country, right? But I will tell you this: a lot of Africans.
What I said, the Islam in Senegal is the most African form of Islam I've ever seen outside of maybe the Nation of Islam here in America. The rest of the Islam that Africans practice is Arabism.
Yeah, but if you say that when the Israel and Palestinian war started, Senegal was the only African country that demonstrated in favor of Palestinians. I don't even know why they did that. It doesn't make sense. The Senegalese, they are so brainwashed with Islam religion. They think that anybody. But it happened. They demonstrated, right?
No, hold on, CD. That has to go. That has to go to northern Nigeria and the Sahel.
No, but they demonstrated. They demonstrated in favor of the Palestinians. But then I was questioning to a lot of Senegalese why the Congolese, why the South Sudanese are dying because they are not Muslim. Why you try to identify yourself with Palestinian? First of all, none of these people like us. Right? They are.
Hold on a second, CD. Yeah. So they should have demonstrated for them Zionists?
No, they should demonstrate for. No, you're not understanding. I'm saying they should demonstrate for Sudan, South Sudan, and Congolese, then demonstrate for the Palestinians.
African Muslims never demonstrate for Arab countries. Never. Never we gonna have to demonstrate for Palestine.
That's why you have to
understand. None of their causes. None.
They don't like us.
I can understand what Dynasty is saying, because you know what happened in Senegal.
We got marabouts. Marabouts in the Islamic religion all throughout Africa.
Amar, like I said, the Islam in Senegal is the most African form of Islam.
No, it's more. Break it down simple. Because I'm a practicing Muslim. Break it down. Give me a breakdown.
No, but he said that
because I practice every day.
Women and everything.
Because
give me a breakdown.
Give me a breakdown.
It's okay, Amar. It's okay. You practice the Arab religion.
No, it's not, because we don't support Arabs.
Nothing is wrong.
We don't like Arabs.
But you practice the Arab.
We don't like Arabs.
Bro, it's okay.
Bro,
it's okay.
The Somalians literally identify as Arabs.
We can make a show about this another time. Let's go.
Yeah, no, but how? Just give me a breakdown. Because I have a whole masjid full of marabouts steeped in African spirituality.
Yeah, that's
how? So give me the surahs all the way down. Give me a breakdown.
Daniel,
Now he's
Daniel
telling
said
us.
you should try to
Now
have
he's
separate
telling
show
us
on
not
this
to
so we can
believe
go
what the
into the
Somalians
details.
We
told
could
us.
do a separate show. We could do
Yeah,
a separate
yeah.
show.
So
Yeah.
Please, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So you guys need to just watch out with Mamdan in New York. Please, I'm begging you. Do watch what he's doing. Watch how many of his people he will be trying to bring in the states, and what influence he's going to be giving to these people over black people and things like that. It's very important because
Diners, Diners.
once you propel Southeast Asian people in the white man politics, it's very toxic. It's worse than anything you can imagine. Okay, and it's the most anti-black you can actually imagine. They are more racist
that's
than
true,
any
and that's
Hey,
100% true.
person you can find on
hey,
this
Al,
planet
at least not a
island.
Patel.
That's true. That's
Yo,
true.
Diners.
You know, I
Yo,
don't think
Diners.
I would prefer white to
We ain't heard
Arabs.
nothing from
Arabs, they are
Patel.
the
He's gonna disappear.
worst people against
and
black people. I'm telling you.
and Indians,
Indians.
Southeast
No,
Asian,
Indians are
That's
the
a
Southeast
fact.
Asian.
worst. I'll tell you that right now.
The Indians are worse
Yo,
than Arabs,
yo,
bro. Indians
For
are worse
real.
than Arabs.
yo,
They the
Diners.
original slave
The
catchers.
Indians, yes, they're worse than
Yo,
Arabs,
Diners.
100%.
Yeah, go
They
ahead.
don't even like their own people because of the caste system.
Yep.
Casteism, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you,
caste
Sarah.
system in
Yo,
India, bro.
Diners,
Forget it.
I wanted to
Exactly,
give you
Sarah.
another idea for another show also. I wanted to give you an idea for another show also.
Go
I
ahead.
think you should make a show and ask the question as to know if FBAs are the first immigrants in America. I think
No, we're
that
not.
No,
would
We're
be
not.
don't
a
do
We're
good
that
not.
show.
We're
show.
not. We're
No,
not.
no,
We're
don't
not.
do that show.
We're not immigrants.
There's
No,
no
don't
even
do
way
that
to
show.
determine that.
Burkina, you're strange sometimes, bro.
So
So
really
Diners.
determine
No,
that.
Hey,
no, we ain't doing
FBA
that
say
show,
that the
bro. We're not doing that
The
show.
world is
foundation of Black
so.
America. They founded America. That's what FBA say.
You cannot
As
argue with
far
that.
as the
They're the
You
Black
topic
can't
goes,
argue with
Columbus.
bro,
that.
FBA trying to
Yeah.
blame
So
the tethers. I don't think FBA is blaming tethers. I think what FBA is doing right now, like you see in New York when they was out there throwing that protest about Mamdani raising their property taxes proposal, what they doing is kicking themselves in the head because for so long I heard the black people talking about voting don't matter and all this and all that, and now they just let somebody else play the game and make moves for them, and now they seeing the results of it.
Yeah, but they are disappointed. If he raised property tax, that would hurt a lot of black
Yeah, but
people.
like I said, I think black people
Right,
are
right.
kicking
You know?
themselves in the head because they already know what's finna happen because they deal with the landlords. They already know property rents done went up every year. They like, what's to stop it doing it again? Now this nigga raising the property is going to quadruple now. You know what I'm saying?
But
So they
that
know
gonna
what's
be
finna
the end
happen.
of his political career. I mean, it's just a
They
matter
said
of
that about
time.
Gavin Newsom. He got reelected.
Oh no,
The
that's
liberals,
different for
the
the New
liberals
York.
can't help
I
themselves.
will guarantee that.
All you got to do to get elected as a Democrat is go off Trump derangement, and they'll
Nah,
let you in the
I
office. I'm
don't think
telling you.
so. I don't think so. This
Think
guy,
about
if you raise
every
people property
election.
tax, he gonna.
Think about the
The way
special
I
election
see
that just
it,
happened. Think about that
the
special
way I
election that
see
just
it,
happened, and all them Democrats won.
KJ,
All they went
the,
off was Trump derangement. They said Trump is
No,
fighting fascism and
well, hold on a second.
authoritarianism. I ain't
You
never
know
heard so
Trump got a
many
lot of votes
people
in New
KJ,
say
York, right?
authoritarianism in my life.
when you have a politician, when you have a right wing, far right, like I think when you have a Democrat in power, you should be voting Republican mayors. When you have Republican in power, you should be voting Democratic mayor. I
No, I
think
think if you
that
get
will
what
somebody
are you
that
talking
does
about?
the job right and you vote them into
No.
do you know
office,
why?
you don't have to
Do you
keep
know
doing
why?
this stupid
Do you know?
stuff. No, because Democrats
Okay,
let's
okay,
just say you do that right now. Because I'll paint you an example. You say,
Yeah,
okay, for instance, we got Donald Trump as president, right?
yeah, okay.
So now all these special elections went
I'm
on and
just
they voted.
proposing
And,
because I'm not from the
let me
US.
finish.
I'm from the UK.
Just let me finish. And then they voted in all these Democrats because they wanted to because Trump is in office now. And guess what? All the Democrats did. They all raised their taxes. You see how that's
Yeah,
bad?
Yeah,
You
but,
got
Democrats
but
to
are
let me
known.
look at
let me
people
ask,
that
But
let
the
do
me
the
ask you a
fact
most
is,
question.
effective job.
Democrats are known for raising taxes, though. They
Well, let
like
me ask you a
raising
The
question.
taxes.
Democrats, every time a
Can,
Democrat come around, they always proposing tax
KJ,
raises. It's crazy.
let me ask you a question.
can I give it?
No, let me
Yeah,
ask
okay,
him a
go.
question
Yes,
first.
sir.
Georgia is mostly a Republican state.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Democratic city.
Mm-hmm.
We're
How's
doing
that
well.
going?
We're doing.
No.
We're doing,
Not
bruh.
as
Don't even
well as y'all
start it,
think y'all
man.
doing. Not as well as y'all think y'all doing. No, no, no,
we
no. A lot of scamming going
got
on
the
out
richest
there.
black population in the United States, African
Okay,
Americans.
that's good, but Atlanta still is a dump if you go on certain around areas.
No, it's
around
not.
here.
No, nah, bro.
Hey,
I need
Casey, do you know why
I'll
I
invite you
proposed?
to my house.
We just gonna stop. So I ain't trying
Come
to
to
diss
Atlanta,
Atlanta.
bro.
I
I'll
love
take you
Atlanta.
out.
But
Come to Atlanta, I'll take you
Atlanta,
out.
you go to the wrong side of Atlanta. You see all them niggas
Even the
hanging out at
wrong
the
side,
drugstore.
even
Go to certain clubs.
come to Atlanta. I will personally take you out.
No, I don't roll like that. But
You call my bluff. Come to Atlanta, I'll take you out. I'll take you to every black business you want.
You can't.
Fine dining,
Of course, you're gonna give me your
black
best
doctors,
show.
black lawyers. Come here, I'll take you out. Everything black, and everything gonna be black. If you're a millionaire, I'll take you to a millionaire black place. If you're middle class, I'll take you middle class black place. Come to Atlanta.
I just don't let Atlanta. I went there on a job, but it's a lot of LGBT going on there among the
A lot
black
of
people.
Of course they got that.
very liberal,
Man,
very
who
liberal
gonna bring that in?
That's fucked
And
up.
they're rich.
Yeah, but that's not.
and
I don't
they
want. I don't want to live with that.
CD,
I don't want to live
my
with that.
brother
First of all,
live in
CD, I ain't
Atlanta.
talking to you, bro.
That's
just
fucked up.
See, my brother used to
we're talking about the political makeup. Come to Atlanta.
Let me tell you this. A lot of people don't even know. A lot of people don't even know that a lot of Africans voted for Trump because of some Republican agenda. Let me tell you this. You know, with the whole LGBT thing that was going on in New York City, letting transgender fight in men's sport, a lot of Africans voted for Trump. I will tell you this right now.
Of course. Why
A
not?
lot of them. But that's why people don't know because of what he been fighting against Africans.
African voted for Trump?
Bro,
Yes.
y'all don't realize that a lot of these immigrant populations
not
are
true, man.
conservative.
They
nature.
voted for
That's not
Trump. I
true.
will tell you that.
African people are conservative? That's not true.
I'm
We
telling
vote
you right now.
conservative.
There's a reason. There's a
We vote
reason.
full
Some
force
of them,
Democrat, boss.
some of them look at it as a religious.
Ever since I started voting, I've been voting Democrats, and all the people I know voted Democrats. All the African communities I live in,
But I'm
vote
glad.
Democrat.
I'm glad that Trump came.
Sure.
Trump came and put break on a lot of things that was going on. I'm definitely. I really.
What you glad
Trump,
about? What did he change that you
First of
happy
all,
about?
letting transgender be in the military. Number one, I was completely against that. Letting
Mentally unstable
transgender
What else?
fighting in letting transgender fight a male sport. I did not
Okay,
like
what
that.
else?
And
What
also putting control of LGBT wherever you go, they are flare flying
Let
over the White House.
letting
I
men
was
go into the
completely
little
against
girl's
that.
bathroom.
It's just letting
Okay, that's just one thing. He's just
men
going
with a
against
dick
LGBT.
go into a
But the
female
immigrant thing, the
bathroom.
ICE thing,
In New York, that's 20
the
years
ICE
old.
thing is wrong.
So New Yorkers
The
don't
ICE
even
thing
notice
is
that.
wrong.
It was out of
I don't
Trump
know
came up
why
with
you
this
think
immigrant
immigrants
thing,
add so
and
much
it's
value.
wrong.
All right,
You
what's a
think like
couple
you
things
act
though
like
that I don't
immigrants
think
like
y'all
to do stuff
understand,
that
right?
Americans can't do. Like
Mainly about
Americans can do what
Immigrants
immigrants
can't do
do.
stuff that Americans do. Without immigrants, there's not America, bro. What
What
you
are you
talking about?
talking about?
nah, that's not
What are
true.
you
You
talking about?
have to understand the difference
Without
between
no
settlers.
immigrants, not American.
You have to
All these
understand the
jobs
difference between.
that pay
You have to
$7,
understand the
$7, $8.
difference between settlers and immigrants. The people that established America were settlers. Immigrants are the motherfuckers coming over here asking for free shit and saying that we don't want them over here. We're xenophobic.
Immigrants do the jobs you don't want to do, bro.
Right?
Immigrants
Because
do $7 jobs you don't want to do.
They do a lot
bro,
Yes,
of
if
sir.
you
jobs
don't,
that
bro,
They're doing a lot
the
of jobs
jail
you don't want
houses
to
are
do.
full of people that could do work. Why
they
don't
do
they
a lot of
do
the
that?
jobs that would like
What you
to
think,
have
Why
bro?
don't they hire the inmates? You make the inmates work
Black
for
man
$7
come
an
out of
hour for
prison and
20
he's still
years,
picky.
and then when they get out of jail, they don't have to commit crime. They can have a fun
A
and
black
get out of
man can
jail
come
and
out
get
of
on everybody's
jail and
crime.
he's
How
still
come they don't
picky.
do that? And if
They
they need
still come
immigrants so
out of here
bad,
and he's
and
still
I got
picky
another
about
one for you.
jobs.
I got another one for you. If they need immigrants so
It's
bad,
still
how
picky
come
about jobs, bro.
they say we need immigrants because our population is so low. So then why are they also pushing abortion? You see how all
Without
of them is
immigrants,
hustling? They just
without
hustling y'all at
immigrants,
every
bro.
angle. Y'all can't even
Without
catch up.
immigrants,
That's a
bro,
good
this
point.
place go down the bill.
That's a good point.
Construction,
To be
hotel,
honest, what I'm
hospitality
gathering,
industry,
yeah, what I'm
agriculture.
gathering, this
You want me to name
conversation is
Y'all can't
getting,
industries
even
is
catch up
that
with
becoming
the
just
less
go
numbers.
progressive.
down the
They got
drain
y'all 12
because of
giveaways.
immigrants?
The conversation is becoming
Huh?
less
Because of
progressive. I
immigrants?
mean,
The
And it's not
agricultural
being
industry
based, and
going
it's not
down
based
now.
around
Construction
policy and
going
actual New
down
York
because of
policy.
Oh
immigrants.
yeah, so construction going down. Oh, that
Hospitality,
means that the
hotels
people that are
going
working at
down.
this So that means that construction companies have to pay higher wages to American workers. That sounds like a
They're
win to
not
me.
gonna pay. You see I'm paying it?
So what they do,
You
not
see I'm
gonna build
paying it
houses no
now?
more?
They're not paying it. They
What are you talking
refuse to
about?
pay.
Construction is at an
They
all-time high right
refuse
now.
to pay. Hotels
Bro,
refuse to pay
manufacturing plants and homes are
higher
being
pay.
built in mass right now. What are you talking about?
But what
Construction
you
is at an
talking about?
all-time
Homes
high.
being mass. What you talking
Construction
about?
is at an all-time high. What are you talking about?
Man, you in fantasy land, bro.
What,
You're in fantasy land.
what do you think all these
75% of
investments
the
that Trump
workforce
just got are
in
doing? He's building
construction,
manufacturing plants all
75%
over
of
the
the
country.
worker is
Data
Mexican.
centers,
What you talking about?
everything.
With
Bro,
What you talking about?
manufacturing
People scared to
plants,
go to
data
work.
centers, car plants,
They're
everything is being
scared to go
You
to
guys
work,
manufactured
sound
as
like
we
a
bro.
speak.
bunch of
You got
market
some
women.
wrong numbers, cuz.
With
No, I'm not. I'm
gentrification,
Immigrants
just
make
telling
you
you
mad.
facts.
You
The
guys
Immigrants
sound like
make
epicenter.
a
this
bunch
place
of
run,
market
cuz.
women.
This is really,
Immigrants make
it's
this place
becoming a
run.
very
You
low
guys gonna have to
IQ
And the
stop. You
village.
sound
Dow
like a bunch of
Jones,
Immigrants,
market
America
the
women.
going
S&P
down, bro.
500 just hit
This,
record numbers
this,
the other week. What are y'all
What you
talking
this
talking
about?
about?
conversation is really
The
low
Dow
IQ,
Jones
man.
Americans
Joint
are so
Options
picky. They're
Tesla
too
stock was
picky. They're too picky
$2.30.
about
It's
jobs, bro.
currently
They're
$400.
too picky about
Y'all
jobs.
don't know the money.
They
Y'all don't
don't
even
take
know.
low-paying jobs for nothing.
Whatever, bro.
Immigrants,
Whatever. I
you
don't
know
know
how
what you're
many
talking about.
agriculture? Oh, the California, Florida.
What about
Feed the
agriculture?
nation. Feed America. You know what? Feed America is suffering now. You can't feed
Bro, there's
America
plenty
because
of
of
fruit in
what?
the grocery store.
Because
We
the
haven't ran out of
immigrants, and be
fruit
chased
yet.
out by ICE.
We don't need immigrants that bad. We haven't ran out of
The
fruit
most
yet.
dominant, that's the most dumb
We
idea right
okay.
there. They're
We
bringing
okay. We
ICE.
got
the
enough grapes.
The
intelligent
most
argument
dumb,
is that
ridiculous,
America right
moronic
now has
idea,
far
creating
more
ICE.
immigrants than it actually needs. Yes,
We're okay.
there is use
And if you
for an
look at
immigrant
agriculture equipment, it's
population
a lot more
in America,
machinery.
but right
In order to do
now,
farming, a
Talk
the
lot
about
of the
labor
farming
machinery.
that's
market
done is
Americans not
done with
upgrading the
has
large
machinery.
grown.
machinery. A lot
That's
of
the
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 farming in
reality.
truck
America is
industry
done with
going down.
a tractor.
Nobody
You
Truck
can
can hear
handle
what
industry
it.
is
anybody
going
is saying.
down
You're telling me there's no American that can get a
Dinah, say
CDL and drive a
can
tractor in the
control if you
field?
for
did.
higher pay. He wants a higher pay. They want a higher
Exactly.
pay.
So
And
I
you
got, I
can
got, I got
people
another.
refuse.
Hold on, one mic. African Giant 123. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. African Giant 123. Unmute yourself. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Willie.
So a lot of things are just totally not understood, especially when it comes to New York politics. Like even how Mamdani goes about getting elected. You got to realize you had an incumbent mayor that basically didn't run. His name was on the ballot, but he had no interest in seeking another term, right? On the other side of that, you got Curtis Sliwa, a Republican joke that many people see as racist, right? So it did create this very small window that independents have won the New York mayor's seat in the past, right? But when I was hearing all the talk about his culture, you got to understand, none of that is even really his culture. At heart, Mamdani is a New Yorker, right? Like eats, sleeps, and craps New York, right? Like we went to the same high school, right? He went to Bronx High School of Science, right? So he is very ingrained, and you got to understand, New York City isn't like a fly-by-night government. It has a very, very rigid system in place, right? So as progressive or regressive as your policies might be, you're not just going to shake up the whole town, definitely not in 4 or 8 years. So a lot of the concerns about Mamdani, to me, as a born and raised New Yorker, like these things are moot. These points are mute. The bigger concern is, what is his policy effect going to be on housing? Do I think he'll be able to freeze New York City rents? No, right? Because New York City does have a booming construction thing going on right now where everything's being gentrified. You got the Barclays and it's still building up Brooklyn. You've got Manhattan and it's still building up Soho, which used to be Harlem, right? There's a lot of changes in the community, but at its core, nothing about his religion or his perceived culture, right, is going to influence his policies. And I'll just land here. The reality is Democratic politics kind of across the board, but definitely in New York, right, are going a bit more progressive. I think this next election, you're going to see them pack Chuck Schumer up, get him out of there, and have AOC come in, who has some very, aggressively progressive policies, right? So that's more or less what's happening in New York. It's not that anybody, just caved or was fooled by this independent candidate. Like, no, they just didn't like the other two choices. On the Democratic side, there really was no choice. And on the Republican side, nobody was going to vote for a guardian angel, Curtis Sliwa. So that's how he kind of got in there. And the main point I was making was, more than anything, he's simply a progressive, democratic New Yorker, right? I'm not concerned with him being Muslim or what he swore on when he went in office. Like, he's a New Yorker. So it's just going to really be about his policies. And that's what the conversation should really be.
Well, I mean, I don't know if AOC can take over for Schumer. I don't think so. If that would be a disaster, because she's not that type of person that can
Well, you got to realize, Chuck Schumer's pretty
because
much
that would be
accepted it.
a sad situation for the Democrat.
But I'm just
Even
sharing with
right
you,
now,
Chuck Schumer,
Schumer is old. He's not.
right,
He
he's
should
pretty
be
much
out of
accepted it.
politics.
Yeah. So
Every
no one's
job
Chuck
seems
expecting him to
Schumer is
win.
a Zionist evil bitch.
evil guy.
And
So
no one's expecting him to win the next election, mainly because there's this progressive wave going over both states. You got your Jasmine
Sadiq Khan in
Crockett's,
London.
younger people
Yeah,
coming
Sadiq
in.
Khan in London. The mayor Sadiq Khan in London. He was a very he was a very progressive guy. He went to school with black people in Tooting. I used to live in Tooting in London. He like, for example, out of the two, the Pakistani and the Indians, I always choose the Pakistani because they tend to be more lean towards the black people. And everyone thought he is going to be the guy. And we have a lot of socialist policies. At the time of a conservative government, and people went for him. But when he became, it's when he does after he did his first term, the ULEZ, which is the ultra low emission zone, because in London they had a congestion zone, they have a lower emission zone, and they have ultra low emission zone. He promised that he's not going to extend these things because it's going to affect the working class. Okay, that was his manifesto. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep the congestion zone right into the central London. I'm not going to extend it because it affect the working class. Like my people and the black people who live in London and so on. But what did he do? He had so many opportunities to increase the taxes in other areas. He refused to do that, and he extended. He actually created a lower emission zone. Okay, and then when he got another opportunity, he extended to under ultra low emission zone. So at the moment you set foot in London, from the outside of this outcast of the city in the boundaries, you'll be paying to drive into London, whether you like it or not.
no, we
And
have
that
it in New
policy
York
forced.
too. We have it
Yeah,
in New York.
exactly,
It just
exactly.
started.
And that, thank you.
You
And
know.
London is a very expensive city. I don't know, if you guys know, London is one of the
No,
most
London is
expensive
a
cities
very
in the world.
expensive. See as New York. I
Yeah,
mean,
and my
wherever that
city,
you see in London, it was Michael
yeah,
Bloomberg that went and see how London was structured, and he brought
yeah,
most of these things to New York City. Even
yeah,
the way the
yeah,
street line up, even the
yeah.
mini van. He took a lot of things from London.
And
Even
and
putting
that's the
toll in
reason
the
why,
middle of New York City that you can't drive, you have to pay for the toll.
right? And
Michael
yeah,
Bloomberg was the one that made New York very expensive, very, very expensive.
exactly,
You
and that's
know,
the reason why my city.
But in
That's the reason why
reality,
my
those
city
were
and
good
London.
policies.
Hang on, and that's one of the reasons. That's the reason why my city and London are the most expensive cities to live in the UK.
yeah.
If you're not on like high salaries, you can't live in my city. And most of the black people that used to live here, they have moved to Wales because it's the border to Wales, the country Wales. Okay, because Wales is very cheap, house cheap, food cheap, everything is cheap, and but the wages are not as high as my city. And the same thing with London. But the
Hey,
London, what they did is they
after
have
we got somebody new on the panel. Go ahead, Yamoja.
no problem. Thank you.
Yamoja.
Hi, Donis and,
Hey.
and panel. Thanks for allowing me. I wanted to come in and talk quickly, just address the comment about construction and agriculture suffering because the lack of immigrants. Those two industries have gotten away with paying low wages for decades because there were immigrants who came in and undercut wages. And so now that the deportations are happening, um, the skilled workers that remain are American, and they need to be paid a livable wage. And so that's the issue we're having with the so-called agriculture rotting in, let's say, the Sacramento area, because there's no one to pick it. Americans would pick that produce if they were paid a livable wage. And
I don't know
that's the
about that.
issue. Is there many people that are out of work who are, I know in my city, who are doing gig work for $20 an hour, $18 an hour. And if there was a wage that was livable, that was paid, they go and do those jobs.
Ma'am, can I
So they're-
interject you 1 second, ma'am?
Sure.
A few years ago, they tried not criminal. What you call the you're in jail, but you could go out in the working program.
A parolee type thing?
Yes, they tried that with some prisoners, and they were paying them much higher wage than a regular immigrant would get, and they suffered. They said they couldn't do it, and they won't do it. Right?
That's a different mindset, though. That's not someone who has a mortgage they need to pay. You know, they're just getting out, so they're getting back on their feet. They're
Yeah,
not
but the
either
average
thing.
the average African American, and including myself, we are not going to pick no cotton. We're not
Well,
picking nothing.
wait a minute.
You see what
Americans
I'm
aren't
saying?
just African American. I said
Yeah,
Americans.
white people ain't gonna pick it either.
For the
They're
right
not picking it.
wage,
They're just
for
not
the
gonna
right
do it.
wage in my city, people will do it because people are suffering. Working people are suffering now. Working people are living in their cars
Yeah.
right now.
And with the
They're not
impact
gonna
of
pick. They
AI,
could go
Ma'am,
pick. They could go pick it
well,
then.
how
can I
much
say
how
something?
much
Because I was the one that
They're
made the
not picking
statement.
it.
Now let Yamoja finish. Go ahead,
Let me
Yamoja.
finish. So I saw a documentary on yesterday where China has just released some robots that were doing some agricultural work. They were doing some digging and plowing, and the robots had solar panels on their backs, right? So the the decision to pay a living wage or not is gonna get wiped out. So these farmers, they have a decision to make. They've been getting money from the federal government to prop up their land and do whatever they want, grow whatever they wanted to grow for decades, and they paid low wages. You cannot tell me that they were not getting enough money from the proceeds of their sales as well as the funding from the government to pay a living wage, and they made the decision not to. And so now they are suffering, and we won't even talk about the black farmers. But the one thing that the black farmers have on their side right now is they've been suffering anyway. They haven't gotten a dime. So they're not looking for handouts. They're doing what they need to do and working together like they've had to do for years. It's the bigger white farmers who are now throwing up their hands. But where were you standing up for the black farmers who weren't getting any support? So now the black farmers are standing back and watching you drown like they've been drowning. And it's all going to come to an end when even more automation through AI comes to play. So the
Yes,
jig is
ma'am.
up.
Grow your own food.
Can I interject, please?
No, well, hold on,
I
hold
was the
on.
one that made the statement about it.
Hold on.
done,
She's not.
I'm done.
Let her finish. When she's
I'm
finished.
done, Dinus. I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, I was the one that made the comments about the industries going down because I know people that are going out of business. You know, in those industries right now that lived well. And we were talking and they did a spreadsheet. And if they raise everything, got a domino effect. When you raise, as soon as you raise wages, everything goes up. Inflation, everything goes up in corresponding ways. So it's just more and more. The lifestyle is gonna be harder and harder on people. So that's why they should have when you go don't go home with this immigrant thing. You leave yourself an out. You say certain industries are an exception. I'm gonna go after everybody else, but I'm gonna have certain industries stay like that because it doesn't make economic sense. You gotta balance your books. You see what I'm trying to say?
But let me tell you.
Mhm.
So the farmers down near the border, down in beyond San Diego, have been, I think, just getting away with, again, paying the Mexicans that come across the border a low wage. They're supposed to pay them a wage, provide housing, provide food as well. The pipes have had lead in them. The housing has been found with mold in it. So the government is paying them to do the right thing. They won't even do the right thing for immigrants. But now they're crying that they can't survive. You've been given money for decades and you've padded your own pocket. You've even treated the low paid workers terribly. So what? You're going out of
Yeah,
business. Goodbye. Goodbye.
but our concern should be the black
Well,
farmers. They've been doing everything on their own. So these are the white farmers that are complaining, that are struggling right now.
Yeah.
But the black farmers, they've been doing it for over 100 years. They never, even when they go for funding, they don't get money from the bank. So only the white
Right.
farmers being getting all these benefit. If they're struggling right now, yeah, they should sort out with Trump. You know, if they think that
Mm-hmm.
will stop being illegal immigrant coming to work on their farm, and they treating them like a slave, I don't see the reason why the government want to intervene in that, because I'm not sure that's the reason why they don't want the illegal immigrant to come. I think they just think that the illegal immigrants are taking their job. But the white people now, they're not willing to do farm work that they used to before. Number one. Number two, they have to increase their salary. And when they increase their salary, it's going to hit the bottom line. The bottom line is what? The product they're going to sell to us is going to be expensive.
So an
So
Right.
I'm
avocado,
not
my
sure
I
how they're
saw
going to
an
face this.
avocado for $2 in the grocery store today.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Wow.
that has not, and what? So they don't have anyone to pick avocados? Is that the reason the avocado is $2?
Well, I go
It
to
won't go down.
Who's going to
right,
pick
right, but
it?
that's what I'm saying. One thing you have to understand: when prices go up, it's not easy for it to come down.
They're gonna
You
go
can
through
you can you can put
automation.
freeze on prices, but all these politicians that talk that we're going to decrease prices, I have been going to store to Whole Foods all the time. I never see prices going down. They will slow down increasing the price. Or you got to, if you go to the store these days, if you buy like bag of carrot, right? They even reduce the portion. They would put freeze on the increase of price, but the portion they will decrease it. A lot of things that you see in the store right now, if they have the means, they will cut down the portion that they sell to people. So to have the idea that they decrease prices, I never see that in America. Anyway, once it goes up, it never come down at
Never.
Nah,
all.
U.S. grocery prices fluctuate. They go up and
But
down.
it
Produce
depends on the
market.
commodity that you buying. That's what I'm saying. Majority of the commodity, the prices would never go down. Especially because you have to know the farmers again, farming, they always have or subsidies from the government. Most of them don't even break even, right? The reason why America farming culture is so strong because the money that they get from the government.
Yep.
If not getting money from the government, with the exception of the black farmers, but the white farmers, sometimes they don't even make money. That's why they need help from the government all the time,
Yeah.
right? If you
Yeah.
look at their balance
that's true.
sheet,
And then you
most of
keep
the
the
time they don't
immigrants
make
away.
money.
The
I
black
They
think
don't.
the
They
farmers
don't
aren't
break
getting
even.
help from.
deportations are all about the fact that we're moving into the next industrial age, which is automation
Right.
through AI. And so they need to get rid
I
of
don't.
these
That
folks
right
that were
there,
working
ma'am, I gotta
labor,
interject. I don't
cheap
think
labor.
so. We are
I do
fully
because I work
going.
in the fields. I work in it.
See,
I see what's happening.
yeah, Amara,
I'm
you
not
see,
just guessing here. I see
he's
what's
making good
happening.
point,
There's
Amara.
No,
no
what
more
I'm
Really
need
saying
good.
is,
for low wage
Mm,
workers, unskilled workers, right? Automation is going to
mm,
come in and decimate quite a few
mm.
industries. And so they don't need those people anymore. So they want to send them back home. As uncomfortable
Yeah.
as that sounds, I
Mm.
largely believe that that's the bulk of what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elite
I,
workers
I, I
are
think
more
it.
needed now.
Yeah, but
like
that's
Yeah,
not going to
I
be
even
think
ready for years
you
and
are right.
years to
That's the
come.
reason.
Not years and
Sorry,
even
years.
Parker.
It's
That's the reason.
18 to
Yes, it is.
36
Sister,
months.
that's the reason why
even
I
if
Ain't
you
no
look
said.
at
That's the reason why
supermarkets,
I
robot
right?
picking
said
no
If you
oranges,
go
right?
back maybe 10 years
multinational
ago and you go in a
corporations have
supermarket,
always dictate immigration
I
policies.
work for
you
Multi,
look back like 10
I
mo-
years
work
ago and you
for
go in a
computer
let
supermarket,
us
there were
speak.
systems
Let us speak.
probably
companies.
Let us speak.
I work
Let us
for
speak,
yeah,
please.
consulting firms. I work for
Let us speak.
IBM. We partnered with Hilton
right,
to make robots that would clean rooms
right. Yeah,
secretly.
that is, even if you
So the
look at
Roomba
some,
was the first generation. The little robot that you would buy that would clean your floor, that's the first generation to get
to the
the
next one,
the prototype done. Like
That
this is
junk
going
yeah.
don't
on.
work.
And even if you look at like supermarkets, like if you go back 10 years, it was probably like 8 to 10 people at the registers, and there was an actual cashier, someone bagging up. Now you'll be lucky if you find 3 workers in the front.
Yeah,
Everything
self
is
checkout.
self
You're right.
checkout.
It's
You know what
not
I'm
only
saying?
even
So
not only that.
this
Even
is
Amazon just
this
lay
is a
off.
solid
Yes,
example. This is
Amazon.
a
Yeah.
solid example
Amazon
of
just lay off about
this
almost
is a
15,000
solid example
employees,
of
and
AI
these are all engineers.
decimating, right? A portion of the job
The
force,
the
right?
the West the
Those
West
low,
the
hold
West
on,
won
hold
their
on, hold on, hold on.
population. They
Those low
okay.
wage jobs
Mm.
that were there, they are completely replaced by AI, right? Like even if you dial one of the big businesses that, you know, a lot of people, a lot of women especially were able to feed their children from was working in a call center. Now, when's the last time you dialed 1-900 and actually spoke to someone? Press 1 if you'd like your balance. Press 2 if you'd like to make a payment, right?
Yeah,
And
but
now it's
eventually
gotten
go to somebody.
to the point where if you don't have your account number, please call us back when you have the information where you can be verified. Goodbye. Right?
It's
It's
always been
literally
like
to
that,
the
bro, for
point.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna.
Well, but
Yeah,
we're talking
I
about
don't think
these
it,
are,
professional
but my
job.
point is, these are 2 industries, right, that because of AI and automation are gone. Now, if you even look at trucking, right, one of the things that a lot of truckers felt like they could believe in was you can't back up and make those, you know, different little turns when you have to dock a truck. Now, there's automated systems that have trucks doing that with no problem. So,
Yes, there are autonomous vehicles. The
yeah,
company that just stood up was called Aurora. Go
yeah.
look it up.
yes, yes. But what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
Unmanned
say
man. What
is
vehicles,
right.
about
right?
Yeah, but
So my
yeah,
point
Yeah,
is,
that's
a
true.
one
lot
at
of
a
But
these
time.
people are gonna
jobs, and
start
I'll land
revolting.
here. A lot of these jobs
What
will
I'm
be
trying to say
man?
is
What
this is
about
the reason
engineers?
why.
a lot of these
This
jobs
is
that
the
we
reason
think
why
are going
it's
to be
very.
American jobs with a
Yeah,
lack of
yeah,
immigrants, those jobs are going to be gone as a whole.
yeah. This is the
No, but
reason
you
why
got
I
high
said it's
tech
very
jobs like
silly.
engineers. America doesn't produce enough
Amara, one second.
engineers. STEM
Yeah, this is
engineers.
the reason why I
Not
work in this
enough.
field. Okay, this is Amara. I work in this field. This is the reason why I said most immigration is not dictated by FBA, black, or these people we all sitting there talking about. Immigration is dictated by multinational corporations. Okay, and I believe the West wants to carve their population down, and the sister is right, where a lot of people are not needed in the country anymore, and dictated by probably think tanks and multinational corporations to reduce their population. If they have to introduce policies, reducing their population by removing some people in the country, they will do that because
No,
I think the West is going to head to, hang on, the West is going to head to universal credit where people are being paid not to work. So
Absolutely.
I think it's going to happen. So
yeah,
we are really behind.
We got, we
Okay,
got, we got somebody. We got somebody new on the panel. Let me pass the mic. TMITHC. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Good evening. Good evening. Rise and shine, proud
oh, this
Americans.
dude again. Oh,
Yes,
God.
the man in the high castle.
Oh, this dude.
Let him talk. Go ahead.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is me, the man in the high castle.
That be it.
Absolutely. Proud of that lineage. Proud Americans. Where you at? Throw them American flags in the chat. I could feel your power. I could feel the frequency. If you check right now on this link that I
Here we
dropped in the
go.
back,
Let him go.
it's the travel advisory. I'm going to drop a link right now in the back, the travel advisory. And if you look at it closely and you zoom in and you zoom out of the world, you'll see white, red, and blue. Europe is in all in red right now, basically. So is Mexico. So is parts of Africa. But Europe, the majority of Europe, that's not Asia. The majority of Europe is in red. How come? The Strait of Hormuz. So when it gets popping for that inventory, the logistic hub for the oils, there's going to be a bottleneck. Peep that. Why is majority of Europe in red?
What does that mean?
Well, the majority of Europe isn't in red.
The majority of Europe is in red. That's not Asia.
I'm looking at the map. Russia. Okay, part of Russia. Some I think is in Europe. Some is in Asia. Russia, and then down here. This is all Asia down here in the Middle East and down below here. And then these 2 countries, that's Ukraine and no, it's not. No,
the majority of Europe is in red, bro.
What does the red means? Explain that.
It means it's getting ready to pop off of conflict. Go back home. Poland has already told their people go home. Everybody in Turkey, go back home. Everybody, go back home. That's what they letting you know. As soon as you can.
Oh, here we go. All right, so Belarus is
So what about Africa?
hold on. So Belarus is one. Okay. So
See, we always be talking about like starving kids, but no one ever cares about the starving kids in Europe.
I'm talking. Part of Russia, so that's 2. Ukraine is 3.
Starving kids.
Hold on.
Who's starving?
Hold on.
Right now, I'm holding positions in the VIX.
Hold on.
Yeah,
that's it. So only 3 countries in Europe is red.
That's the volatility index.
So. Yeah, the fear index. I'm holding VXX. I'm holding gold. I'm holding majority silver though, and oil.
You like DXD? You short the market?
So
I like VV.
What does that have to do with Africa? What does that have to do with Africa?
Africa right now, it appears that hey, even though it's not in red, it's a question. How come?
Okay.
How come the majority of Africa, the continent's not in red?
What's that? A travel advisor?
Is that a safe zone? Is that a safe zone? Does Africa have safe places?
Safe from what?
Question?
Are there safe places in the world, and where can we identify the safe places?
Safe from
to
what?
Migrate?
Safe from conflict, from the energy crisis that's about to pop off. Energy crisis. Energy crisis would be more threatening than any type of World War III.
Thank God to China. They're leading the clean energy revolution right now. And they are busting everything right around the world. They're the leading trading nation. Last year, they did $3.5 trillion in trade. And our surplus of $1 trillion. Now, Africa is significantly importing solar panels, wind, battery technology, even running partnerships with them for green cars. So Africa is on the good side now. And even here in the United States, Donald Trump switched to coal, more fossil fuels, but the United States has always been an energy good country. We're abundant in energy. So is Russia. The Europeans were importing their oil from Russia, and now Germany, even parts of England, parts of Europe have rolling blackouts now. Which was unimaginable. I have family members over there that are telling me they got blackouts, and Germany energy bill is extremely high, super high. So, I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, I think the war in Iran is going to really trigger this, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Fossil fuel. That's fossil fuel.
I believe anytime from tonight.
Not really.
Anytime from tomorrow to March 7th. It's something about to happen in between those times.
Well, that's for people that depend on fossil fuels. Fossil fuels
I agree with you with 100%. Between now and the next 2 weeks, it's gonna pop off. That I agree with you.
But
I don't know exactly what the pop off is gonna be, but I suspect it's gonna be more than just a scrimmage.
We're just starting to, drill a lot of our own natural resources. So America does kind of have a trump card there in terms of being able to.
No, it's not. We're gonna pay
prices.
We're gonna be paying $10 a gallon.
We pay worse.
But brother, I don't know what your name is, but it's a good subject that you brought up.
The man in the high castle.
No, America got an abundance of oil. We're not going to be paying $10.
Okay,
America got a lot of oil.
I love earning money from home and abroad. I love to punch in, and I love to earn money remotely as well.
Okay, you in my lane because you stockpiling right now is the best time for assets. Come out of fiat. No more fiat. Fiat is this global reset that's going to happen. You get out of fiat, you go to the hard asset like
everybody
gold.
Do themselves a favor, buy gold and silver.
Also, they've been propping up. If you notice, sir, Sir, you made a great point. In addition to what you're saying, I'm about to compliment you.
Okay.
Physical metals, right? So let's take a scenario. Bitcoin, they've been propping that up for it's about 4 weeks now. It was at
Volatile.
it was at 90. Now it's at 65. It should really be at 57. All right.
Exactly.
They've been propping it up. Hold on. This is a little mathematical situation. 5 ounce. Okay, 15 ounces of gold or 2 Bitcoin. Which one would you take right now if you had a choice?
Gold.
Gold, of course.
I take gold.
You take 15 ounces of gold.
Yep.
Explain why.
Bitcoin. Because gold is a hard asset. You use
gold go for silver.
Gold and silver. Gold in particular. Gold. Okay.
15 ounces of silver. Let's do 30 ounces of silver or 2 Bitcoin. Which one would you take?
Silver.
What's the going rate for Bitcoin right now?
I'll go with silver.
Silver.
I know I'll go with Bitcoin. Silver is climbing. It got ways to go. The Chinese have locked it down because of the solar panels.
Chinese are buying up silver more than gold now.
And they're on their holiday vacation
an example of Bitcoin. 2 Bitcoin or silver.
The blockchain.
I'll go in and out of Bitcoin
on silver.
Well, if we're talking about Bitcoin is 64,000 right now, something like that.
Silver using industry.
Yeah, because I'm going on silver because silver, I really think it can go to 400 before the end of the year.
Yep.
Because of the Chinese? That's a good call. It might be a good call. I was gonna be an in and out guy, a stuck and dump kind of guy.
In and out, yeah, I see that.
Stuck and dump on Bitcoin. Okay, in and out. Okay, stump and dump.
But if I were to,
guys, not just
to hold on
to the blockchain depend on silver, but also electric cars and also solar panels and all of that.
Yeah, the industry.
That's why the Chinese are locking it down because the Chinese dominate those industries. They lock silver down to price. Well, you know the thing is, in Africa, right around my kingdom, we're mining gold and we're stockpiling gold.
Where are you from?
Because we have a Sierra Leone.
Okay.
So we're stockpiling gold, holding it for a better price in the future. Because in the future, when there's a bigger reset, the Chinese are going to come calling for a 20,000 price for an ounce. I believe in that.
Risky. That's risky, though.
And see, no risk.
That's risky.
Gold
because the reason why gold is
never a risk.
The reason why gold is marketable right now is because...
No, CD, you're wrong. You're wrong.
But let me explain to you why the reason that people have gold going up right now. Let me explain to you.
It'll never go.
We know the safe currency in the world is USD, right?
No,
so because,
forget
because,
USD.
because let me explain to you. Let me explain. So the reason why US dollar are devalued is because Jerome Powell has decreased the interest rate, right? He continued to decrease the interest rate. Number one. Number two, let me finish. The guy who is coming to be a Federal Reserve Chairman, who is Kevin Warsh, Trump told him that he should decrease the interest rate, continuously decreasing the interest rate. So now people don't see USD to be a safe haven right now to put their money into USD. So that's the reason why you see.
Let me counter that.
Let me finish, then you can explain. Let me finish.
Okay.
So the reason why people are going to gold and silver because they say in the long run, when this guy become a Fed chairman in May, USD is going to be devalued at the same time. So people now putting their money in USD that right now. So everybody is putting their money into gold or silver. So gold and silver is the safe haven right now to put your money. That's the reason why IMF is going around trying to negotiate with places like Burkina Faso, telling them to lock in a deal to use their gold as a collateral so they can give them loan. Right? This is what is going on. But in the long run, when it's going to reach a point in time when there's too much dollar in the market, it's going to be too much inflation. They're going to increase the interest rate. Once they increase the interest rate, the Chinese going to come back again and start buying the USD. I
They'll
think that
never
is
do it
Can I
why
again.
it's
That
counter,
will
going
never
please?
on.
Can I
Going
happen.
on.
counter? Can I
That will
That's
counter,
never
please?
happen.
Let me
that's what I'm
counter.
going on
Let me
right now.
counter.
That
The
will never
reason why
happen.
the USD is no longer the safe haven is because the United States put sanctions on Russia. Okay, they froze their assets in
Nah.
USD. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. That's when everybody came up with alternative payment systems.
Yep.
Central banks diversify their holdings. It used to be all dollars. They diversify their holdings into different currencies and in different metals because of that. And then they used to have 30-year bonds that you buy from the United States to get a 30-year yield because that's how safe the United States dollar was.
They
They
still have
reduced it
that.
to 1 year. Listen, let me finish. 1 year bonds now. They're buying it 1 year and they're
It's
getting
always
out.
been both.
And they're
You know, there's still
Let
30-year
diversifying.
him
bonds.
finish.
Listen, let me finish, man. I let you talk, man. Let me finish. You know? So everybody is, all the central banks now are diversifying in gold holders. They are buying
Hey,
gold
guys,
at record
guys,
levels.
1 second. Let me shout out to my sister Ronique for the $50 cash app. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, they're buying it in record levels. And
Charlie,
then,
don't shout out me too,
secondly,
though. You don't shout out
CD,
me. I'm
CD,
out.
hold on. One mic. CD, thank you for the Zelle from yesterday. I don't know if you sent one today, but I know you sent one yesterday. I
All
appreciate
right.
you. Thank you, my
Thank
brother.
you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
now
Let's support
everybody,
Daniels, man. Let's
then
just support.
secondly,
Dude, look, let me finish,
secondly,
Jay. The
let me
African, a
finish.
lot of
I didn't say
African
No,
nothing
come on
about
this.
something.
No.
Amar,
Let me
hold on.
finish. Let
One
me
mic,
finish
Amar.
this.
Go ahead, CD. Go
You
ahead.
guys should try to chip in, man. I mean, we don't want to have a lot of majority of the people here that come here are African. We don't want people to think that we cheap. You should try to chip in. This guy putting a lot of effort in his show. So don't come here and just, without chipping in. At least $5, $10, $15, to keep this show going there, okay?
Yep. I second the
So
motion.
please.
I second,
I
I
agree
third the
with that.
motion.
But
I do it all the time. But going to the same
Dennis, do you have
topic,
RIA
you see
or
what I'm trying
Western
to say?
Union? Sorry.
United States put a lot of tariffs on all the countries around the world, right? And when they put a lot of tariffs around the world, they want the dollar to be weaker. When the dollar is weaker, Trump wants to export. He wants an export economy. He doesn't want to import anymore from China like he used to in Vietnam and those places. So now the United States has been reoriented as an export economy. So the dollar is weaker, so it's cheaper for people to import from the United States. So because of the
You're
dollar's
you're
weakness,
100% right. 100% right. But you're
yeah,
leaving out one
But
thing.
hold on. Let me ask a question because I thought the tariffs were meant to make them build in America.
yeah, if you build in America, you're not gonna be tariffed. You see, because he wants the
Okay,
manufacturing to
so
return
how is
to
it going to be
America,
cheaper?
It's
Okay,
not going
so
to
how is it going to
return.
be cheaper to build it
cheaper to
overseas if you're getting
export.
tariffs?
That's
No,
why you think that he's
It's not going to
contradicting
return.
it's
himself
It's not
right
cheaper
going to
to
now.
return.
export from America because the dollar is weaker.
He's
When the dollar is
contradicting
He's
weaker,
trying to
himself.
do an
it's
export
cheaper from.
economy to keep the money coming in instead of going out. That's
That's
like a
what I'm
simple
When
telling
you
thing,
this
brother.
guy.
export, this how it
America's
works.
not an
You want to
export
produce
economy.
This
more
how
than
it
you
works.
buy. You want to sell more
This
than you
how it
buy.
works.
That's the strategy.
America. Now, let me finish. America was a manufacturing hothead. Was the
And
biggest
we're getting back to
manufacturing
that.
leader in the world. We sourced out all our manufacturing to Asian countries. You see what I'm
And we're
saying?
bringing it back.
That's
Well, not
why.
all. Not all.
Okay, a large chunk of the
Well,
Okay.
that's why
manufacturing.
the tariffs
America moved to
incentivize those
America.
companies
Let
to
me
come back
finish,
to
man. Can
America.
I finish? Can I finish?
You're
Bro,
leaving
you're
out
Can
saying
one
a
I
bunch
key
of
finish?
thing, though.
nonsensical shit.
You saying some nonsense. You don't make no half the sense. Come down out of your mouth is not doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Huh?
let him
What's
argue
your
with it,
level of
man.
You're
education,
right,
by the
but you're
way?
leaving out one key thing. The oil is
Let him
not
finish.
Yeah. What's your level of
Let him
OPEC.
finish.
education? You won't
OPEC.
even let somebody get the point across. What's wrong with you?
All right, Dennis. Good night, man. You guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
See you later, brother.
All right, man.
You're leaving out one thing, though, bro. You
Okay.
forgot about the oil is not only selling in US dollars anymore. That's the main thing. It's been selling other currencies.
I wasn't even finished. They
Petrodollars is
won't
still
even
the
let me talk. Let's
primary.
just go ahead, man. I mean,
Petrodollars is still
we
the
can't even
primary
get an
instrument
educated
for trading in gold.
thing going through. You won't let everybody break it down. You keep on interrupting. I mean, go ahead. Somebody else can pick up the mic, man.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let
so
me just say this.
petrodollars.
You're right. You're right. I was listening to you, and you're right about that, about the sanction and everything. But you also left out one key thing. The OPEC is allowing other currencies to purchase oil. Before, you had to buy oil with US dollars. Right now, people could buy oil in their own currency or a different currency. So the US dollar is not pegged solely, with the sale of oil. So that was very important. But what you were saying is definitely true. That's
Okay.
it.
Wait till our
Anyway,
economy start booming again, though.
I'm gonna chip out as well. Dinus, Amara, Delroy, all the family members. Thank you very
All right,
much. You
brother.
have a great eve.
Yes.
Love, yeah. All right.
Mhm.
I just want to end,
Uh,
Dinus, with saying that if you want to know where the economy is going and you're in or near a major city, look at the course catalog for your community college, because
Okay.
that's going to tell you where they're trying to get people
I'm trying
trained
to
up
do they
within
do they have
12 to
community
24
colleges?
months.
Do they have
So you'll
community
see
colleges in
things like
Atlanta?
construction technology
Yes,
that
Yeah, they
has
got a
never
ton.
been on any
they
community
do.
college's radar. You'll see ag tech. You'll see a lot of areas. And so you'll get an understanding
Robotics.
of what's about to change and where the skill sets need to be and the level of ability needs to be.
If you're a man, blue collar work.
Is somebody saying something?
I think some did he
Yeah,
what
if you a
happened?
man, blue collar work is coming back. All this building and manufacturing they going on. Get you some skills to work with your hands to where a machine can't replace you. Stop relying on these little easy, comfy jobs where you feel no. You got to get dirty, and use your hands. This is how you gonna make money in this new economy. Everything the AI can replace, they will. If you go into a restaurant, they got a kiosk right there, and the
So
cashier sitting right there.
for the any young people in the chat, something that I'm semi-retired from right now, being a linesman, fiber optic, right? Those type of job, right? High skill jobs like that. They need a lot of people right now. Right now, they can't find technicians to do those jobs. So you guys want to come in and get a great job that's high paying, those type of jobs.
You
And
can
then
get
most definitely
150 to
great
yeah,
start.
pay.
AI is gonna take a lot of jobs away anyway.
They're
That's
going to take
gonna
a
be a
lot of jobs.
political battle.
AI cannot wire a building. Okay,
And
AI
no,
cannot
some specific.
put an air duct. AI cannot dig
Yeah,
holes and put pipes and stuff. And AI cannot do certain things.
yep.
Capitalize on
That's
what AI cannot do. You need to be the best at AI's weakness.
yeah.
Including engineers for AI, including that.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's some spots that you can thrive in. You know, where AI is not going to, and the technology and the politics is going to hold it back too. So it's not a full blown thing, but the economy is changing. The
Did you
economy
guys
is
hear
changing. They're
about
trying to make it.
what Dutch school
They're trying to
just
make
did?
who?
Anybody heard about what the Dutch just did?
What did they
They're
do?
returning. They're revolting against the high tech industry. They're returning books to schools, to classrooms, learning
Oh,
with
that's some
books
Dutch
because
shit.
they said the children them are just getting out of hand. So they returning to school. I mean, learning through books. If anybody want to check that out, that's real. They started it already.
Yeah, that's that Dutch, because they the same country that got like the social services and everything for everybody.
Right.
It's like a real small white country, and they kick stuff out. They I'm like, yeah, they all on the
Mhm.
same page over there. In America, it's kind of harder to do that because it's so diverse or whatever. But in the Dutch, they can do that shit. You know what I mean? Because all the white people, they all look the same. They all probably know each other, probably related. You know what I'm saying? It's a small country. They can do
Yeah,
stuff
but
like that.
I'm gonna tell you, I just finished a project about 4 months ago. I was installing some cameras in schools in Virginia, in a small town in Virginia.
Another job
And
AI can do.
right, and the amount of jobs that's still available, they're teaching their kids how to. These are all white schools, and they're teaching their skills how to do it. Furniture building, basic carpentry, high-tech auto mechanic. They all had it in those in these schools. That's what I know. This was elementary and middle schools and high schools. They still have those classes that they took away from our schools. Those shop classes, they still have them, bro. They still have
workshop and
classes to
workshop and all
shops.
that.
They still have it. I thought it all went away until I went to this damn school system in Virginia. They still have it, and they teaching the kids. They teaching them.
Because that's if
Okay.
you think about black people, that's when we obtained our most wealth, is when we weren't trying to get college degrees. We were
Right.
hard working with our
Right.
hands,
Exactly.
brick building, all that. And if we get back to that, we can, especially with this new economy that's coming, if you get real skills, I'm not talking about trying to get $20 an hour to go flip burgers at McDonald's. That's not skills. It's not.
No.
If anybody can do it, it's not a
Construction.
skill. You know what I'm saying? Go get you a real skill. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if you got to go to a college, go to a community college where it's going to be cheaper. You don't got to go to you know what I mean? It's so many options nowadays.
You can get it for free. You get
Yeah, you can
those
get it
skills
for
for free.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's options out
Ain't
there,
no
but
free grants now.
yeah,
No,
but
no. They have so much
like a
there.
robotics program.
For free.
Yeah, you're right, because they got a robotics program where I'm at, and it's like $3,000 for the course. It's like 6 months, but you get
What
hands-on
about
training learning how to do
cybersecurity?
robots.
Cybersecurity.
And that starts at a
Because I know a
community
girl that's
college.
studying for
You know what I mean?
cybersecurity right now.
Yes, that's true. That you should do it. Good.
Yeah, if you can learn how to work the machines that they're replacing you with, you're kind of valuable. You know
Right.
what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
But you know what's funny though? You know what's funny? I used to manage. I'm in the logistics industry, and we switched to robots. I used to manage this place, man. I'm telling you,
Not a place
these
manage
young
yourself.
boys. Even when the thing is so simple, to grab one or two parts and just put it together, and then the robots do all the machine work. It's so easy. It's a high turnover rate, man. It's scary, bro.
Yeah, because I worked
I'm
at a place
telling
like
you.
that too. I worked at a place and they had like 5-6 people to do the job, but then they brought in a machine and the machine did step
Whole
1
bunch
through
of
6,
robots.
replaced everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so now all you need is the one person to program a machine, put some oil on it. You need a technician. You know, I mean, you need, now they making a change, bro. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like if you look at all the AI companies, they doing mass layoffs, hundreds of thousands of people a day. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You feel me? You got the real money is with your hands. You feel me? I don't care if you're making a beat. You know what I'm saying? Do if it ain't requiring you to do it with your hands and create it yourself, you probably not gonna make money off of it. You know what I'm saying? Because like they even got AI lawyers now. You know what I'm saying? So like,
they got repetitive jobs.
people are getting phased out.
Repetitive
You gotta stay
jobs.
ahead of the curve. And that's how, even if you think it like that, you can make good investments too. You know what I mean? You know AI taking over. Why ain't you investing in an AI company? You know what I'm saying?
Man,
So,
look
like,
at the IULs. This IULs that came out when the Congress passed this IUL on life insurance that could pay you while you're living. You pay a ass load of money in there. Excuse my French. You see what I'm saying? And then you can borrow off of that while you're living. And then you can even borrow off of that. Borrow off of that, invest it somewhere, and pay back. Man, you can switch it around so much. It's so many ways. Industries are changing.
And then if you get your credit right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then if you get your credit right, it's like the opportunity just open up so vastly for you. You know what I mean? And that's why I got my little nephew. I make him buy everything on Klarna and then pay it back. You know what I mean? Like you building up your credit right now. You know what I mean? We starting good. People need to practice good financial habits. Like even just because you got money don't mean spend it. You know what I'm saying? Like stack your money. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these investments that you can make, you can get in for $10,000. I mean, I know that sounds like a lot of money or whatever, but in the long run, you get 9 to 13 to 14%.
Yeah.
Well, tell them
annual
not just
revenue off
tell
that.
your relative not just stock his their money. Buy silver and gold.
Yeah, yeah.
Put it
Well,
in
I'm not their
put it in
dad,
hard
so I
currency.
just do certain things. But yeah, I'll put that on the note board for
Yeah,
them to
when
know.
they're younger, you set them up, man. They're gonna come out. By the time they
Right,
get to
get
a
them
certain
practicing
age,
good
oh
habits.
man,
Be like, yeah, I
yeah,
got the money, but I'm still getting it on
yep,
credit and then pay it off. You feel me? Like, just start.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You need because your name is also very valuable. I don't think people take that into consideration enough because you could be all these things. You know what I'm saying? But your name carries weight too. You feel me? And your name don't always have a face. It might just be a name on with your credit report that's gonna get you to leave with that loan or whatever. You feel me? So I don't know.
yeah. The economy's changing. The economy's
Yeah, the
changing. I mean,
economy's changing, and just
people getting lazy. People getting lazy, get comfortable in the old
right.
thing. You know, nah,
Food
Hey,
stamps
hey,
getting
guys,
things are
guys, hey,
changing.
hey,
eliminated.
hey,
The world
everyone,
is resetting.
we're gonna go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, good night,
Thanks,
Don.
my family.
All right, good night, Dan.
Just for who? Peace.
Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.